Chapter 1503. At this time the mosquitoes began to bite Daodu and Tian. The two babies fell asleep and couldn't fight back. Zhao Yun found that Daodu and Tian had several big mosquito bites on their bodies. Especially Tian, newborn children were pink and tender, and their skin was more sensitive. After being bitten by a mosquito, the bitten area on her face became swollen, and it was heartbreaking to look at. She couldn't go on like this. She had to find something to drive the mosquitoes away. Zhao Yun remembered that when she was young, she lived in her grandfather's house in the countryside. Sometimes, when her grandfather's house ran out of mosquito-repellent incense, he would go to the ditch next to the paddy field to pick wild candles and bring them back. Then he would use these wild candles to drive away mosquitoes. The effect of these wild candles was not worse than mosquito-repellent incense. Anyway, no mosquitoes would bite her when she slept in the room that was smoked. She thought that there were such wild candles in Shuilan village, but she had never paid attention to them. She would go to the paddy field tomorrow and pick them back when she saw them. This way she wouldn't be tired when she slept at night. Yun, why don't you sleep first and cover yourself with the quilt? I'll fan you so that you won't feel hot. Just wait until you fall asleep, Mu Lianfeng said softly. Zhao Yun was embarrassed. She wanted to sleep and Mu Lianfeng naturally wanted to sleep too. Zhao Yun felt bad that Mu Lianfeng couldn't sleep because of her. So she said, "It's okay. You'll be fine tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll bring some wild candles back. There won't be so many mosquitoes." "It's okay, Yun. You sleep first. I'll sleep after you fall asleep. I just slept. I'm not sleepy anyway." Good girl, go to sleep." Mu Lianfeng pressed Zhao Yun down on the bed and covered Zhao Yun with the quilt. Then he fanned himself. A cool wind blew and she suddenly felt much more refreshed. Probably because she was very sleepy, Zhao Yun fell asleep unknowingly. The next morning Zhao Yun woke up, as did Daodu and Tian. After feeding the baby, Zhao Yun went to the kitchen to make breakfast. When she came out, she found Mu Lianfeng washing things in a wooden basin. Zhao Yun walked over and saw that Mu Lianfeng was washing Tian's diaper. Seeing this scene, Zhao Yun's heart couldn't help but tremble. Mu Lianfeng, a grown man, actually knew how to wash diapers. For a man of this era, especially one of Mu Lianfeng's status, it was really rare. If he could, he really wanted to give Mu Lianfeng an award for being the best man in the world. "Are you washing Tian's diaper?" "Yes. Wash it early and let it dry. Only then will Tian have diapers to change." Zhao Yun nodded. That was true. If he didn't wash it early, there were only so many diapers and it wasn't enough. Seeing Zhao Yun smile, Mu Lianfeng asked, "What's wrong, Yun?" "Nothing, I just feel that you're a little different from the men of this era." Mu Lianfeng didn't understand. "What's different?" "There are many different things. The best part is that you don't have male chauvinism. Even in the 21st century, it's probably hard to find a good man." Mu Lianfeng smiled helplessly. He really couldn't understand Zhao Yun's words, which were too modern. However, he guessed that Zhao Yun was praising him. After Mu Lianfeng washed the diapers in the wooden basin twice, he got up and went to dry them on the drying pole. Zhao Yun finished making breakfast and called Mu Lianfeng over to eat together. Chapter 1504. After eating breakfast and tidying up the house, it was already noon. In the morning, Zhao Yun's second cousin, Zhao Qianhu, came over to borrow little Mao and went to the girl's house. They estimated that they would arrive at Shuilan village in a short while. Zhao Yun carried a basket on her back and called out to Daodu, "Daodu, do you want to go to the fields with mother?" Daodu nodded heavily, "Okay." During this period of time, when Zhao Yun was not around, Daodu played with Erhua and Sana. Now that Zhao Yun was back, he stuck to Zhao Yun. When he heard that Zhao Yun wanted to go out, Daodu was naturally excited and hurriedly followed Zhao Yun out. Zhao Yun took Daodu to the fields. It was the busy time of the farming season, and many people were tending to the rice in the fields. Rice needed to be irrigated and weeded often, so it was not easy to grow. However, China people, especially in the south, were used to eating rice. The yield of this kind of grain was also very good. Those who went out to work were all men. Only when there were not many men at home would the women come out to work. During the day the weather was not very hot, so many people went out to work. If they waited until noon and afternoon, the sun would shine for a while, the temperature would rise a lot, and it would be very hot when they worked again. Zhao Yun went to a few fields and she often saw people in the village. When she arrived at old Zhao's paddy field, she saw that the paddy fields of other houses were still fine. Only her second uncle's paddy field had a lot of grass growing. There was not much water in the paddy field and the rice was somewhat yellow. It was estimated that they would not receive any grain during the harvest season. The reason why a few mu of paddy fields were abandoned was because her second uncle was too lazy. She guessed that he was lying in bed with the excuse that his butt hurt and did not work in the fields. Her second aunt was a woman, so she naturally did not know how to take care of the fields. She could not finish all the chores at home and still had to take care of Zhao Wenshui. How could she have the time to take care of the fields? If they continued to be lazy for a long time, Zhao Yuner estimated that her second uncle's family would not be able to live a good life in the future. After all, it was other people's business. Zhao Yuner wouldn't meddle in other people's business. Seeing that her second aunt was much better now, she would at most remind her later. If she could find a better home, she might as well dump Zhao Wenshui and divorce Zhao Wenshui. She wanted to see how Zhao Wenshui would live in the future. Zhao Yuner took Daodu to look for a while and finally found a place with a water candle. Daodu, you stay on the shore. Yangqin will go and pick it. Don't come, okay? Zhao Yuner was afraid that Daodu would not be safe if he fell, so she reminded him. Daodu nodded heavily and said, okay Yangqin. Daodu understands. Daodu is good. Zhao Yuner patted Daodu's head and praised him. Then she put down the basket on her back and placed it on the ridge of the field. Then she took off her cloth shoes and socks, rolled up her trousers and prepared to go into the water. If she did not go into the water, she would not be able to hook the water candle. At this time, a person's voice sounded behind Zhao Yuner. Yuner, let me help you. It was Lu Lei. Zhao Yuner turned around. Sure enough, it was Lu Lei. Lu Lei was currently wearing a cloth garment. His trousers were rolled up. His legs, feet, and even his clothes were stained with mud. It was probably because he worked in the paddy field. Chapter 1505. The Xiao family was a wealthy family in the village and they had many paddy fields. Before Xiao Hong married Lu Lei, the Xiao family hired people to do farm work during the busy farming season. Now that Lu Lei was here, he took the initiative to do it himself, saving the Xiao family a lot of money. However, working in the paddy fields was not an easy task. After entering the paddy fields, it was easy to get dirty. Just like Lu Lei now, with a lot of mud on his body, he had to wash himself well every day. Zhao Yuner smiled at Lu Lei. If it was in the past, Zhao Yuner wouldn't reject Lu Lei's help. Now that Lu Lei and Xiao Hong were married, she had to avoid them, lest there were any unspeakable rumors. No need, brother Lei. I'll do it myself. Zhao Yuner refused. Lu Lei frowned and said, Yuner, I'm already dirty. It's okay to go into the water. Look at how clean you are. If you go in, you'll dirty your clothes easily. You'll have to wash yourself when you get back. How troublesome. I'll just go in and help. It won't take much effort. It's fine. Zhao Yuner knew that it was indeed as Lu Lei said. If she went in alone, it would be more troublesome, but she couldn't trouble Lu Lei because of this. Just as Zhao Yuner was about to continue to refuse, Lu Lei did not listen to Zhao Yuner's words and went straight into the water. Zhao Yuner wanted to stop him, but it was too late. Seeing Lu Lei being so enthusiastic, Zhao Yuner couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. This man had helped her too many times without asking for anything in return, but she couldn't give him anything in return. When Zhao Yuner was slightly stunned, Lu Lei called out to Zhao Yuner, Yuner, do you want this wild candle? Zhao Yuner nodded and said, yes. What do you want this for? Lu Lei asked casually as he plucked it. I picked it to smoke the mosquitoes. There are too many mosquitoes in the house at night, and the bites are uncomfortable. This thing can also drive away mosquitoes? Lu Lei was a little puzzled. He actually didn't know. This was the first time he had heard of it. Zhao Yuner nodded and said, yes, take it back and dry it in the sun. Set it on fire and smoke it in the house. It has a good mosquito repellent effect. After Lu Lei heard this, he muttered, is that so? Then I'll bring some back too. There are quite a lot of mosquitoes in the house. Yeah. Lu Lei picked a lot from the ditch. After buying a handful, he handed it to Zhao Yuner. In a short while he had picked half a basket. Zhao Yuner hurriedly said, all right brother Lazy, that's enough. You can come up. Lu Lei agreed. Just as he was about to get out of the ditch, a water snake slithered over and bit Lu Lei's thigh. Lu Lei gasped in pain. Zhao Yuner hurriedly asked, what's wrong brother Lazy? Lu Lei frowned in pain and climbed up to the shore. He didn't care much and said, it's nothing. It seems like I was bitten by a water snake. Zhao Yuner glanced at Lu Lei's thigh and saw that Lu Lei's thigh was bitten by a water snake. At the moment it was bleeding. She was shocked and hurriedly said, brother Lazy, does it hurt? Why don't you call Dr. Sun over and let him get some medicine for you? Lu Lei waved his hand and said, it's okay Yuner. It's nothing to be bitten by a water snake. I've been bitten many times before. Chapter 1506. Although the water snake was not very poisonous, the place where Lu Lei's leg was bitten still swelled up. Lu Lei was bitten by the water snake. In the end it was because he helped her. Zhao Yun felt a little guilty. Since Lu Lei didn't call Dr. Sun, his body must be a little weak since his leg was bleeding. She would go back and catch an old hen and send it to Lu Lei to let him eat it to nourish his body as compensation. Brother Lei, let's bandage this wound, Zhao Yun took a look and said. She was afraid that Lu Lei's wound would be easily infected if it was left to dry. Lu Lei didn't object to Zhao Yun's suggestion. Zhao Yun took out a handkerchief from her sleeve, squatted down, and prepared to bandage Lu Lei's wound. Before she could get close to Lu Lei, she saw someone come over and push her out fiercely. Zhao Yun fell on the ridge of the field. Fortunately, the ground was soft grass, so it didn't hurt too much. Zhao Yun frowned. She looked up and saw Xiao Hong glaring at her angrily. Before Zhao Yun could say anything, Xiao Hong pointed at Zhao Yun's nose and started scolding. Zhao Yun, you bitch. You're too shameless. How dare you seduce my man? At this moment there were many people working in the field. When Xiao Hong shouted at the top of her voice, the people who were working looked in the direction of Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun was a little displeased and replied, Xiao Hong, don't talk nonsense. Xiao Hong snorted and said, Zhao Yun, when did I talk nonsense? Aren't you seducing my man? You're really shameless. Lu Lei is already married to me, and you still don't know how to avoid getting close to him. Tell me, what do you mean? When Xiao Hong said this, the surrounding villagers began to discuss. They were all people who liked to gossip, so they couldn't help but point and talk. He's injured. His leg is bleeding. I just helped him bandage it. Is that considered seduction? Zhao Yun asked with a sneer. This Xiao Hong's ability to bite people was really strong. She seduced everyone she saw. To put it bluntly, Xiao Hong was just afraid that she would snatch Lu Lei away. She wanted her to keep a distance from Lu Lei so that they would not have a chance to fight for him. What Zhao Yun didn't understand was why Xiao Hong still thought that she might get together with Lu Lei at this time. She already had Mu Lianfeng. Why would she covet another man? He could only say that this woman was too stupid. She clung onto her like a shrew and refused to let go. Xiao Hong was silent for a moment before she said sarcastically, Zhao Yun, my husband is injured. Even if it's bandaging, I should be the one to do it. When did it become your turn? Zhao Yun couldn't be bothered to argue with Xiao Hong. He helped me by picking wild candles. As a result, he was bitten by a snake, so I helped him bandage it. What's wrong with that? Or is it that he helped me and got injured but I didn't care? Will you scold me for being heartless again? Zhao Yun asked in return. Xiao Hong bit her lower lip. So Lu Lei got injured because he helped Zhao Yun. The thought of Lu Lei doing something for Zhao Yun made Xiao Hong extremely jealous. Xiao Hong knew that Lu Lei's actions meant that he still had Zhao Yun in his heart. Why was this man still unable to let go of Zhao Yun even after marrying her? It was as if Zhao Yun had bewitched him. Chapter 1507. Xiao Hong looked at Zhao Yun with a red face and said, That won't do. My husband is injured. That's my business. I'll come over in the future. It won't be your turn no matter what. Zhao Yun, if you're really shameless, you shouldn't have asked my husband to help you. Why should you have more contact with my husband? He's already married. Don't you know how to avoid it? Zhao Yun didn't know what to say to Xiao Hong. She made it sound like she was deliberately sticking to Lu Lei. At this moment, Lu Lei, who was sitting on the ground, said to Xiao Hong sternly, Xiao Hong, don't talk nonsense. Why are you blaming Yun? I insisted on helping Yun, so it has nothing to do with Yun. After Lu Lei finished speaking, Xiao Hong's expression turned even uglier. She didn't expect that her man would help Zhao Yun. The jealousy in her heart made Xiao Hong even sadder. Why did Lu Lei still keep Zhao Yun in his heart even though he was already married to her? Was Zhao Yun really that important to him? Husband, you're married to me, so you should avoid it. Otherwise people will gossip about us. Xiao Hong bit her lower lip and said. Lu Lei frowned and said, Yun and I didn't do anything openly. Why should we avoid it? If there's gossip, I didn't hear anyone say anything. Instead, I heard you shouting. When Xiao Hong heard this, she choked. Husband. It was clearly Zhao Yun who was in the wrong. She was just saying a few words. Why was Lu Lei talking about her instead? He was obviously helping Zhao Yun. In the end, Zhao Yun's position in Lu Lei's heart was far more important than hers. Xiao Hong, that's enough. Don't make things difficult for Yun. Let's go back. Lu Lei said. Xiao Hong was unwilling to let Zhao Yun'er off just like that. Husband, do you still have her in your heart? We're already married. Are you really letting me down like this? And Zhao Yun'er, did you see that my husband married me, and now you regret it and can't bear to part with him, so you came to snatch him from me? You're just looking at what's in the bowl and thinking about what's in the pot. You're still looking forward to the vegetable field outside. Originally, Zhao Yun'er didn't want to make a fuss with Xiao Hong. For Lu Lei's sake, she didn't want to embarrass everyone. Now that Xiao Hong was clearly going against her, she couldn't show that she had a good temper and not say anything. She replied coldly, Xiao Hong, you're really good at slandering people. If I had seduced Big Brother Lu and couldn't bear to part with him, you wouldn't have had the chance. You. Although she knew that Zhao Yun'er was telling the truth, Xiao Hong didn't want to admit it. If you continue to pester endlessly, then don't blame me for being rude. Zhao Yun'er warned her coldly. Xiao Hong pointed at Zhao Yun'er angrily. You. Zhao Yun'er, can you still be reasonable? Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you have the support of the heir. It's your fault for seducing a married man and you still want to hit me? Even if this matter reaches the ears of the Crown Prince, the Crown Prince will definitely not side with you. Slap. Suddenly there was the sound of a slap. Zhao Yun'er's heart trembled. Then she saw 5 red palm prints on Xiao Hong's face. It was Lu Lei who had slapped Xiao Hong. Chapter 1508. It took a while for Xiao Hong to realize that Lu Lei had slapped her. Husband, you actually hit me for Zhao Yun'er. How could you do this? Xiao Hong's eyes were filled with tears as she looked pitifully at Lu Lei. She couldn't believe that Lu Lei would still hit her and protect Zhao Yun'er at a time like this. Lu Lei said with a cold face, Xiao Hong, don't pester me endlessly. You're embarrassing both others and yourself. If you don't leave then I'll leave. Lu Lei propped himself up and limped away. Xiao Hong glared at Zhao Yun'er hatefully, stomped her feet, and hurriedly chased after Lu Lei. Zhao Yun'er sighed softly as she watched the two of them leave. She really didn't expect that a person with such a good temper like Lu Lei would hit a woman. However, for a woman like Xiao Hong, it seemed like she deserved it. Mother. Daodu tugged at the corner of Zhao Yun'er's clothes. He was frightened by Xiao Hong's scolding just now. Zhao Yun'er patted Daodu's head and said, Daodu, are you okay? Were you frightened just now? It's okay now. Mother. Daodu has to grow up quickly. That way Daodu will be tall and strong. Only then will you be able to protect Mother from being bullied. Seeing that Daodu knew how to protect her at such a young age, a touch of warmth emerged in Zhao Yun'er's heart. Okay, Mother will wait for Daodu to grow up. Zhao Yun'er tidied up the wild candles and carried the basket on her back. She held Daodu's hand and said, Let's go, Daodu. Let's go back. Okay, Mother. After returning home, Zhao Yun'er first put down the basket and then put the candles that she had just picked up under the sun. It would probably take a few days for it to dry. If she wanted to use it tonight, she would have to roast it by the fire while cooking to dry the water in the wild candles. That way she could use it at night to get rid of the mosquitoes. After drying the candles, Zhao Yun'er wanted to feed Tian. The baby probably slept for too long. After drinking milk, she lay on the bed with her eyes wide open. She didn't sleep for a long time. Zhao Yun'er picked up Tian. Thinking that her future second cousin-in-law should be here at this moment, she prepared to carry Tian to old Zhao's courtyard to wander around and join in the fun. When Zhao Yun'er went to old Zhao's house, Xiao Mao was placed in the courtyard of old Zhao's house. The bride's family had already arrived. In addition to Jinju's stepmother, Zhou Damei, Jinju's father, Old Man Jin, was also there. Old Man Jin was estimated to be in his 50s, but he looked to be in his 60s or 70s. His hair was already white, his skin was wrinkled, and his face was old. Unlike other men, Old Man Jin didn't seem to have his own opinions. He sat next to Zhou Damei and let Zhou Damei do the talking. He nodded and didn't say anything else. Zhou Damei didn't say much. The conditions that should be discussed before had already been agreed. This time, the bride's family came over just to go through the formalities. She couldn't let her daughter marry into the family without seeing what the groom's family looked like. On old Zhao's side, when discussing the marriage, Feng Zhangxia had been talking. Her uncle didn't say anything. Chapter 1509. While the two families were discussing, Jinju and Zhu Eru seemed a little embarrassed. They lowered their heads and listened to their parents talk, but they didn't say anything. Zhao Yun'er walked over. The other members of the old Zhao family were accompanying them outside. This could be considered a joyous occasion for the old Zhao family. Hua Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan were very happy. However, when he looked at Jinju, there wasn't anything to be picky about. She was pretty and she was hardworking. However, when Jinju was compared to Shinpan, she was far worse. Not only was Shinpan good-looking, but her family background was also very good. When she married into the old Zhao family, not only did she not ask for a single copper coin as a gift, but she also brought a lot of good things from her maternal family to supplement the old Zhao family. Therefore, Hua Chunhua thought that if Jinju could be like Shinpan, it would be great. She would also bring more dowry back. Therefore, after Zhou Damei and Feng Zhangxia chatted for a while, Hua Chunhua couldn't help but interrupt. I say, in-law, your family's daughter is marrying into our old Zhao family. Do you know if you should give some dowry? Zhou Damei was slightly stunned and frowned. Dowry? Yes, shouldn't a daughter give a dowry when she marries? You said that your family's conditions are good and you only have one daughter. Shouldn't you give more? After hearing Hua Chunhua's words, old man Jin, who had been silent with his head lowered, suddenly said, I only have one daughter. Her mother left a gold bracelet. Why don't we give it to her as her dowry? Originally, Jinju's mother's gold bracelet was her dowry when she married into the Jin family. Later, Jinju's mother died and the bracelet fell into old man Jin's hands. After old man Jin married Zhou Damei, he gave the bracelet to Zhou Damei for safekeeping. Old man Jin and Jinju's mother only had one child, so this gold bracelet should naturally be left to Jinju. Thinking about Jinju's mother, old man Jin felt a little guilty. Since Jinju was getting married as her father, he had to plan something. If he didn't give Jinju anything, he would naturally feel bad. Because after he married Zhou Damei, this girl didn't have a single good day. Zhou Damei didn't treat Jinfen well, and old man Jin was clear in his heart. Now that Jinju was married, it was time for him to make up for it. What belonged to Jinju should be given to Jinju. When old Zhao's family heard that there was a golden bracelet, their eyes immediately lit up. One had to know that a gold bracelet was extraordinary. It was not a silver bracelet or a copper bracelet. Gold bracelets were the most valuable things. It was estimated that a gold bracelet could only be bought with 10 taels of silver. That was equivalent to 2 or 3 mu of farmland. Bringing a gold bracelet over was because it was a generous dowry. How could old Zhao's family not be excited about this? How could old Zhao's family not get excited? When Hua Chunhua heard this, she immediately beamed with joy. Good, good, good. This is good. In-law is really straightforward and generous. Normal people probably wouldn't be willing to give it to you. But after hearing old man Jin's words, Zhou Damei was immediately unhappy. When Jinju got married, it was already good enough that she didn't make things difficult for her. How could she be willing to give the gold bracelet away now? Of course, the reason why Zhou Damei was willing to marry Jinju off so quickly was that she thought that after Jinju left, the gold bracelet would truly become hers. Chapter 15:10. She had already given in, but this damned old man was still thinking about his daughter. It was all because of the seed left by his ex-wife. Zhou Damei poked old man Jin and said, Old man, what nonsense are you talking about? This golden bracelet is for our son to go to school. If we give it to Jinju, what will happen if our son has no money to go to school? Where are you going to get the money? Old man Jin was a little afraid of Zhou Damei. After Zhou Damei spoke so fiercely, old man Jin weakly replied, But this is something left behind by Juer's mother. Shouldn't it be given to Juer? It's no big deal if we give it to Ju. Zhou Damei glared at old man Jin fiercely. You're still thinking about a daughter. Don't tell me you don't want our family to live? For so many years I've served you and worked myself to death for this family. Don't tell me it's not worth a golden bracelet? You heartless person, I must have been blind to follow you back then. After old man Jin was reprimanded, he lowered his head and was so scared that he couldn't speak. The guilt in his heart towards Jinju deepened. As a father, he might not be able to fight for anything. Just like before, he clearly knew that Zhou Damei didn't treat Jinju well, but he didn't say anything to Zhou Damei. Because he knew that it wasn't easy to marry a wife. It would cost a lot of money. If he forced Zhou Damei away, then he would have to be a bachelor for the rest of his life and could only wrong his daughter. And for so many years he had always given in to Zhou Damei and let her bully him. Basically, when Zhou Damei decided on something, he wouldn't say anything. Jinju saw old man Jin's helplessness and Zhou Damei's aggressive appearance. She knew very well that it would be more difficult than ascending to heaven for Zhou Damei to spit out the golden bracelet. When she married Zhu Eru, she was already very grateful that Zhou Damei didn't make things difficult for her. So she didn't intend to fight with Zhou Damei for this golden bracelet. After all, as Zhou Damei said, her younger brother still had to go to school. Her younger brother was Zhou Damei's child and also her father's child. They were related by blood. She didn't have any objections to let her brother study and bring glory to the Jin family. Jinju said coldly, "Father, mother, you can keep the golden bracelet. I don't need it." When Zhou Damei heard this, she was overjoyed. She poked Old Man Jin and said, "I say, old man, did you hear that? Ju already said no. This girl is more sensible. He knows what's good for our Jin clan." Old Man Jin looked up at Jinju, his eyes filled with guilt. Dad, I really don't need it." Jinju emphasized again. Jinju didn't want it, but old Zhao's family was unhappy. How could he be willing to let go of something that was clearly in his hands? Chunhua looked at Jinju with dissatisfaction. She scolded Jinju in her heart for being useless. She didn't even know how to bring some benefits to her in-laws. A golden bracelet. How many good things could he exchange for? Chunhua was even more dissatisfied with Jinju after such a disturbance. However, he didn't say anything. Although Feng Zhangxia didn't have any objections, it was better for his daughter-in-law to bring some good things over. Naturally, he also hoped that Jinju would bring more dowry, so that their first branch's life would be better. "Old man," the girl said, "no, so she doesn't want it. We'll keep it for ourselves." Chapter 15:11. In fact, Zhou Damei couldn't bear to part with 6 quilts. After all, 6 quilts added up to a lot of money. However, if she went overboard, it would definitely make Old Man Jin unhappy. Zhou Damei didn't want to cause so much trouble. Feng Zhangxia smiled and said, Okay. You can say whatever you want, in-law." Chunhua looked unhappy and said, "Just 6 quilts. What's the big deal? Our old Zhao's family isn't an ordinary family. That's all we can give." Chunhua's grumbling was not loud, but everyone who was sitting could hear it. Feng Zhangxia was afraid that the bride's family would be unwilling and miss the marriage, so she patted Chunhua and said, "Mother, the bride's family can give as much as they want. We're fine. The man usually gives more. How can we ask the bride's family to give more?" Chunhua snorted and didn't say anything. She still felt a little uncomfortable. Zhou Damei and Feng Zhangxia chatted for a while. Jinju and Zhu Eru's marriage had been settled. It wouldn't be long before Jinju would marry over. Zhu Eru was looking forward to it very much. He couldn't wait for Jinju to marry him as soon as possible. Then he could be with Jinju and see her every day. Fortunately, they didn't have to wait for too long. It would be over soon. Seeing that it was getting late, Feng Zhangxia said, In-law, let's have lunch at my house today. I've prepared a lot of dishes." Basically, when the bride's family came over, they would definitely stay for lunch. Zhou Damei and Old Man Jin said a few polite words and didn't refuse. Zhou Damei got up and prepared lunch. Because the bride's family was coming over today, and it was related to Old Zhao's family, Feng Zhangxia and the other branches of the Old Zhao's family early in the morning. They would all have lunch at her house today. For this, Feng Zhangxia bought a caddy of meat and caught an old hen at home. She cooked a few more dishes for lunch and prepared a sumptuous meal. If she cooked a lot, Feng Zhangxia naturally couldn't do it alone. However, Qian Zhuzhao promised Feng Zhangxia to help, so it was faster to work together. Because there were still workers at home, the third branch had to cook by themselves, so they pushed Feng Zhangxia away and didn't eat together at noon. After a while, smoke began to rise from the kitchen of Old Zhao's house. He was busy cooking. When Zhou Damei saw the meat and chicken, she couldn't help but praise in her heart. This Old Zhao's family was really rich. How could an ordinary family be able to eat such good food? It would already be good enough if they could buy half a caddy of meat when they were receiving guests. She began to regret not bringing the other children in the family to eat together. If I had known earlier, I would have come over as a family and let the kids eat something delicious. Zhou Damei whispered into Old Man Jin's ear. Old Man Jin frowned and said, "Forget it. It's too troublesome for the whole family to come over. Let's just stay with Ju. You old man, did you see that they have prepared such good food? Our children usually don't even get to eat meat. What's wrong with bringing some over? Hey, if you can't do it, you can go to town and buy some. If you bring it over, each person can have a bite. In fact, the children can't eat much. Didn't you see that there were so many people together at noon?" Zhou Damei said unhappily, Okay, I'm too lazy to talk to you. You old man, you don't know how to live." Chapter 15:12. Jinju sighed helplessly. Her stepmother was like this. She was stingy and liked to take advantage of others. This time was no exception. But fortunately, when she married in the future, she would not have too much contact with her family. Thinking of being able to leave Zhou Damei's side, Jinju felt a burst of joy in her heart. Zhao Yun decided to make do with lunch at the third branch and did not go back to cook. Otherwise it would be more troublesome to pick vegetables. Old Zhao's house was also lively. Zhou Damei and old man Jin were more reserved. After all, they were in someone else's house, not their own. Jinju felt awkward sitting there, so she got up and wanted to help Feng Zhangxia and Chen Hongzhao in the kitchen, but was rejected by Feng Zhangxia. Ju, you sit outside and rest. You don't need to help. The two of us can handle it, Feng Zhangxia said. Chen Hongzhao also echoed, yes, you go and rest. This girl hasn't married yet. How can we let you help? It's not reasonable. Jinju hesitated, wondering if she should insist. At this time Zhao Qianhu came over and said to Jinju, you don't need to help. My mother and the others are busy enough. Let's go and rest. Even if you want to help, there will be opportunities in the future. Today it won't be your turn. But, seeing that Jinju was still hesitating, Zhao Qianhu directly took Jinju's hand and led Jinju away without any explanation. Jinju saw that her hand was held by Zhao Qianhu, and her whole body was slightly stunned. Then, her face was stained with a touch of red. Although she was going to marry Zhao Qianhu in the future, the feeling of Zhao Qianhu holding her hand still made her a little shy. Jinju lowered her head and did not say anything. She followed behind Zhao Qianhu and did not continue to help. Zhao Qianhu asked Jinju to sit down and smiled at Jinju. Jinju lowered her head and was a little embarrassed. Zhao Yuner could not help but tease, second cousin, it seems that you dote on your wife. You don't even let your wife work. It would have been better if Zhao Yuner hadn't said anything. After she said it, Zhao Qianhu also became shy. He was a coarse old man, not a thick-skinned one who could not bear criticism. Zhao Qianhu smiled foolishly and said, it's natural for a man to love his wife. When he marries his wife, he has to treasure her. He can't treat her badly. After all, it wasn't easy for her to marry into our family. Zhao Yuner covered her mouth and smiled. Yes. Second cousin, you're right. It's natural for a man to dote on his wife. Second sister-in-law will be so happy to be with you in the future. Marrying a man like Zhao Qianhu was indeed a blessing. Hearing Zhao Yuner's words, Jinju lowered her head and became more and more embarrassed. Zhao Yuner didn't continue to tease her. Zhou Damei said embarrassedly, actually, it's okay to let Juer help. Your family has prepared so many sumptuous things to entertain us. We're a little embarrassed to just sit here and do nothing. In the future, when Juer marries into your family, it's natural for her to help with some work. But you're too polite. Zhao Qianhu smiled. And it's okay. There's really no need. Chapter 15-13. Zhao Qianhu didn't have anything against Shen Pan. He was just casually saying the truth. Ever since his sister-in-law married into old Zhao's family, she hadn't done any housework. Most of the housework was done by his mother or other aunts. Now that they had split from the family, there weren't many things to do. His mother basically did all the housework alone. At most, Shen Pan would take care of the children. So, when Jinju married into his family, she wouldn't have to suffer too much. When Zhou Damei heard Zhao Qianhu's words, she couldn't help but sigh. What? Your sister-in-law has never done any housework? In the countryside, which daughter-in-law could have such a comfortable life? If Jinju married into his family, wouldn't she be living a happy life every day? Zhao Qianhu nodded and said, yes, my sister-in-law has never done any housework. Even if she did, it was very rare. Zhou Damei opened her mouth in disbelief. Or rather, she found it hard to accept. After all, if she had a daughter-in-law, she would definitely send her to work every day. How could she not do any housework? It wasn't easy for a daughter-in-law to become a mother-in-law, so she would have to order her around. How could she not do anything? Old Zhao's family was really interesting. Just as Zhao Qianhu was talking about Shen Pan happened to come out of the house with Zhao Yangyang. Zhao Qianhu pointed at Shen Pan and said, Auntie, this is my sister-in-law. Zhou Damei's gaze landed on Shen Pan. Shen Pan was wearing a lake blue dress and some jewelry. She looked even prettier than before. She was completely different from the people in the countryside. She had a unique aura, just like a young lady from a rich family. But after hearing what Hua Chunhua said, Shen Pan seemed to be a young lady from a rich family. No wonder she didn't do any housework. Old Zhao's family was like this. It wasn't easy for him to marry a young lady from a rich family. If he made her do housework, she would inevitably be unhappy. Zhou Damei stared at Shinpaner's hands and sighed. Tsk. Her hands are so beautiful even though they haven't worked before. They're so white and tender. They're different from our jeweler's hands. If Zhou Damei hadn't said anything, no one would have noticed. After she said that, everyone looked at Jinju's hand. Jinju probably worked a lot at home, so her hands were very rough. She was only in her teens, but they looked like the hands of someone who was decades old. When Zhao Qianhu saw this, he felt a lot of heartache. Jinju felt a little uncomfortable being stared at. She quickly pulled her sleeves and retracted her hands back into her sleeves. Zhao Qianhu comforted her. It's okay. When you marry into our family in the future, you will be like my sister-in-law. You don't have to do too much work. Slowly your hands will recover. When Zhou Damei heard this, she smiled and said to Jinju, "Little girl, listen, your future man treats you so well." Then he turned to old man Jin and said, "Old man, did you see that? When Juer marries over, she definitely won't suffer. She's lucky to have found such a good family." When old man Jin heard this, his eyes became a little moist. When he thought about how his daughter would live a good life in old Zhao's family in the future as a father, he was naturally happy for his daughter. Thus he nodded and said, "Yes, Juer is a lucky child. We didn't make the wrong choice." Chapter 15-14. Zhou Damei and old man Jin both nodded, and Jinju's mouth was filled with sweetness. She was now looking forward to marrying over as soon as possible, and she also believed that Zhao Qianhu would treat her well. Wu Chunhua heard the conversation between Zhao Qianhu and Zhou Damei. She walked over and couldn't help but snort softly, "Qianhu, even if you love your wife dearly, you shouldn't do it this way. Your sister-in-law didn't need to work when she married into old Zhao's family because she was a young lady from a wealthy family. When she came to our family, she brought a lot of dowry. But your wife is different. She didn't bring anything. Don't tell me you expect her to do nothing after she marries over and just sit at home like your sister-in-law?" As Hu Chunhua spoke, she glanced at Jinju with dissatisfaction in her eyes. She didn't seem to hide it in front of Zhou Damei, and she wasn't afraid of offending Zhou Damei at all. Zhao Qianhu looked at Hu Chunhua awkwardly, and then looked at Zhou Damei, feeling that he had let Jinju down. "Grandma, you can't say that. Since they're both our old Zhao's daughters-in-law, we naturally have to treat them fairly." Hu Chunhua rolled her eyes at Zhao Qianhu. "How can we treat them fairly? If you don't even want your wife to work, are you going to leave her to your mother alone? I've really raised you for nothing. You've forgotten your mother after marrying a wife. You only know how to love your daughter-in-law, but you don't know how to love your mother. Do you think we'll count on you to do everything in the future?" Zhao Qianhu didn't know how to refute Hu Chunhua's words. Indeed, he couldn't leave everything to his mother alone. Otherwise it would be too hard for his mother. Jinju, who had been silent, spoke up, "Grandma, don't worry. I won't not work. If there's anything in the future, I'll definitely help." Jinju didn't want Zhao Qianhu and Hu Chunhua to argue about anything, and she didn't want Zhao Qianhu to be in a difficult position. Anyway, she knew that Zhao Qianhu treated her well. As for work, it wasn't like he hadn't done any work in the Jin family. When he came to old Zhao's house, no matter how hard and tiring it was, it couldn't be more tiring than in the Jin family. Zhao Qianhu looked at Jinju apologetically. He swore to himself that he would work hard so that Jinju could live a good life with him. Hu Chunhua didn't continue to say anything, but she still didn't like Jinju in her heart. In the final analysis, it was all because of money. Jinju couldn't take out a lot of dowry and couldn't bring benefits to old Zhao's family. At this time, Shinpan came over and greeted Zhou Damei and old man Jin. Then she smiled and introduced herself to Jinju. "Hello, sister-in-law. I'm your future sister-in-law. I've been taking care of the child in the house and didn't have time to come out. Sister-in-law, you look so pretty. Together with my second brother, you are indeed a perfect match." Shinpaner's words sounded nice, so Jinju had a good impression of her. Jinju responded with a smile, "Hello, sister-in-law. Don't be so polite. We're a family. Sit down. When you get married, we'll have a lot to talk about." Jinju responded. Zhou Damei listened to Shinpaner's words and behavior. At a glance, she could tell that Shinpaner was a child of a rich family. She was different from them country bumpkins. The overall impression Shinpaner gave people was that she was natural and unrestrained, and she was easy to get along with. Chapter 15-15. Zhou Damei was mesmerized by the aroma. She took a deep breath and couldn't wait to eat it immediately. The aroma of the meat was indeed different from that of ordinary dishes. It made her stomach itch as if there were worms stirring it. Zhou Damei couldn't help but salivate as she swallowed her saliva. Fortunately, it wouldn't be long before she could start eating. She had to eat properly later and make up for what she hadn't eaten in the past few days. The third branch was also cooking. Zhao Yun carried Tian to Liang Jinxiao and went to cook. Fortunately, Tian was a well-behaved child. She wouldn't cry or make a fuss no matter who carried her. Therefore Zhao Yun was relieved to let Liang Jinxiao carry her. The third branch's lunch was not bad, but it was not like the first branch's. They even had a stewed chicken. At this time the men who went out to work had returned. Their foreheads were covered with sweat and they were exhausted. Fortunately, their house would be completed in a few days. Then they could move in. It's so lively today. Zhao Wenhua smiled when she saw the house full of people sitting outside. Liang Jinxiao responded, "Yes, it's a good day for sister-in-law's family today. The bride's family is here. Today we're hosting them. The other branches are eating at sister-in-law's house." Zhao Wenhua nodded, then politely greeted Zhou Damei and old man Jin before entering her house. Liang Jinxiao carried Tian with one hand and a pot of tea with the other into the third branch's house. He asked the men to drink some tea. Zhao Wenhua looked at Tian's pink and tender face. Her cute appearance melted the rough man's heart, so she said to Liang Jinxiao, "Yuner's mother, is this the child that Yuner brought back? Let me carry her." However, Liang Jinxiao waved her hand and refused with a smile, "That won't do. You just came back from work and you're covered in sweat. If you hug him, won't his body be covered in stinky sweat like yours?" Zhao Wenhua smiled foolishly and said, "That's true. Then you can carry her." "I won't carry her." Liang Jinxiao responded. "Have a seat. The food will be ready soon." "Okay." The men thought that they wouldn't be able to eat Zhao Yuner's food in a few days and couldn't help but feel a little regretful. Earning money was one thing, but eating and drinking was another. Working in the fields after they returned home was no different than working at Zhao Yun's house. However, the food was only 1/10 of what Zhao Yun's food. The first branch's family's. Old Zhao's family set up a large table and began to put the cooked food on the table. For lunch, they ate meat, stewed chicken soup, cold cucumber salad, scrambled eggs with chives, stir-fried shredded pork with beans, and egg soup. The table was full of food and looked very sumptuous. At this time, a fragrant smell was wafting out. Feng Zhangxia greeted them with a smile. In-laws, quickly sit down. Let's eat." Zhou Damei couldn't wait any longer. When she heard Feng Zhangxia's greeting, she quickly responded, "Okay." She randomly picked a stool and sat down. If it weren't for the fact that she had to wait for others to start eating, Zhou Damei would have reached out her chopsticks and picked something to eat first. Chapter 15-16. Old Zhao's family was sincere enough to entertain them like this. When everyone was almost seated, Zhao Baoshan asked, "Eldest daughter-in-law, where's the wine?" "Where's the wine? Hurry up and bring some wine over. I'll pour it for the in-laws." Feng Zhangxia only remembered after Zhao Baoshan reminded her. Feng Zhangxia patted her head and said, "That, father, I forgot. With my brain, why didn't I even know how to buy wine? Father, is there a wine shop in our house?" Zhao Baoshan frowned. "How can we do that? Our home-brewed wine is not good and can't compare to the wine bought outside. How can we serve the in-laws with this kind of wine?" Feng Zhangxia thought about it and agreed, but the problem was that she didn't have any wine. "That, father, I'll go ask third brother. They should have wine at home." Zhao Wenshan nodded and said, "Okay, go ahead. The third branch will definitely have some." After all, the third branch was building a house and had to entertain the men who went to work all day. They also had to give them wine to drink. "Okay, I'll go now," Feng Zhangxia responded and ran eagerly to the third branch's house. Third brother." Upon hearing Feng Zhangxia's voice, Zhao Wenhua stood up and asked, "Eldest sister-in-law, what's wrong? What's the matter?" "The eldest sister-in-law is entertaining the in-laws today and forgot to buy wine. Third brother, can you lend me a jar?" When Zhao Yunlong heard this, he also replied straightforwardly, "Of course. After all, it's an important event for your family to entertain the in-laws." As he spoke, Zhao Wenhua took a jar of wine and said to Feng Zhangxia, "Eldest sister-in-law, I still have people to entertain at home, so I can't accompany your in-laws to drink. I'll give this wine to you. Don't return it later. It's a small token of my appreciation." Feng Zhangxia was delighted when she heard that. One had to know that a jar of wine was not cheap. The jar that Zhao Yunlong bought cost 200 coins, and Zhao Yunlong actually gave it to her family. That was saving her family 200 coins. Who didn't like to take advantage of others, especially people like Feng Zhangxia? However, although Feng Zhangxia was happy, she pretended to decline a few words. Third brother, how can I accept this? I'll return it to you later. Sister-in-law, there's really no need for that. Tianhu's marriage is a big deal. As his uncle, I have to do something. So don't return this wine. Otherwise, you won't treat me as a family. Feng Zhangxia smiled and said, Third brother, you're right. We're family. I'll ask Tianhu to come over and thank you properly. It's all right, sister-in-law. Go quickly. Sigh, Feng Zhangxia replied, then hugged the wine and left the third branch's room. He chuckled and said to the men at the table, Third brother gave us a jar of wine. This wine was bought in Yang City. It's very fragrant. The men at our table are in luck today. Hearing that there was good wine to drink, old man Jean was naturally very happy. He didn't have any hobbies usually, but he liked to drink some wine. He wasn't picky about food, so unlike Zhou Damei, he didn't have much of a reaction when he saw the table full of good food. Instead, he was instantly happy when he heard that there was good wine to drink. Father, come. Feng Zhangxia handed the wine to Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Baoshan took the wine and began to pour wine for the men at the table. Chapter 15-17. Zhao Tianhu wanted to snatch the wine from Zhao Baoshan's hands. After all, this kind of work could not be done by an elder. As juniors, they had to be served wine by Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Baoshan waved his hand and said, It's fine, I'll do it. Zhao Tianhu responded, All right then, Grandpa. Zhao Baoshan filled the cups with wine. The fragrance of the wine wafted out from the wine jar, causing everyone to involuntarily sniff. Old man Jean had never tasted any good wine before. This was the first time he smelled such fragrant wine, so he sniffed hard. This wine smells really good. It must be good wine. Old man Jean exclaimed. Feng Zhangxia said, Haha, yes. My third brother bought it. Of course it's good wine. Old man Jean nodded. So that was how it was. He was wondering why it smelled so good. The difference between the wine he bought and the wine he brewed was too big. Usually he brewed his own wine or bought it from other families in the village. The price was very low, so it could not be compared to the wine he bought from Yang City. Zhao Wenshi also laughed and said, Yes, this wine smells really good. It's much better than the wine we usually drink. We can have a good drink this afternoon. Zhao Baoshan said with a smile. The men at the table praised the wine on the table. The noise outside was very loud, so Zhao Wenshi could hear it from inside the room. He could not help but drool. During this period of time, although Li Chuiying made some delicious food for him to nourish his body, it was just some dishes. There was nothing good to eat. As for wine, he had not drunk any of it. Men all liked to drink and he was no exception. As soon as he heard the men outside the room drinking wine and saying that the wine smelled good, Zhao Wenshi could not wait to rush out of the room and drink some. Seeing Zhao Wenshi like this, Li Chuiying said to Zhao Wenshi, Tianyu, his father, you just rest. I'll go out and get you a bowl of rice and some food. Normally, Li Chuiying would take care of everything. Even if it was Zhao Wenshi eating, she would prepare the food and hand it to Zhao Wenshi. Zhao Wenshi waved his hand and said, No need. Li Chuiying frowned, thinking that Zhao Wenshi didn't want to eat, so he asked, Tianyu's father, aren't you hungry? Today, sister-in-law's family is hosting the in-laws, so they prepared a lot of good dishes and meat. Even if you can't eat, you should at least eat some, right? Zhao Wenshi said, No, that's not what I meant. Li Chuiying was confused. Tianyu's father, then what do you mean? Are you going to eat or not? Zhao Wenshi said, Eat, of course I'm going to eat. Why wouldn't I go out to eat when there's delicious food? Am I that stupid? Li Chuiying's mouth twitched. He did not understand what Zhao Wenshi wanted to do. Before he could ask, he saw Zhao Wenshi, who had been lying on the bed and saying that he could not move, suddenly get up from the bed. Li Chuiying was secretly surprised for a moment. How did this man suddenly get better? Didn't he complain about the pain all day long? Tianyu's father? Can you move? Can you get up from the bed? Didn't you say that you couldn't get out of bed yesterday? Li Chuiying could not help but ask. Zhao Wenshi replied impatiently, Now is now, yesterday is yesterday. How can it be the same? Chapter 15-18. Who would be seriously injured the day before and would be healed the next day? Wasn't it obvious? Li Chuiying suddenly realized that her man was lying when he said that he was injured and couldn't move. She finally understood Zhao Wenshui's motive. He just wanted to continue lazing around in bed and not do anything. He even wanted her to serve him all day. Li Chuang was furious when she thought of this. She hated Zhao Wenshui for being so useless. Why was she so unlucky to have married such a man? She was also stupid to have been fooled by Zhao Wenshui. Zhao Wenshui only had to coax her a little, and she was so eager to take care of this man. Now that she thought about it, it was ridiculous. Why did she count on Zhao Wenshui? Was this man worth relying on? If it weren't for the fact that the child was young and needed someone to take care of him, she would have divorced Zhao Wenshui and seen who else this man could count on. Zhao Wenshui ignored Li Chuang and ran out eagerly. He wanted to freeload some food and drink a few glasses of wine. If he didn't drink, he would probably die from hunger. Big brother, sister-in-law, give me a seat. I want to eat too. Zhao Wenshui said to Zhao Wenshi and Feng Zhangxia. The eldest branch didn't expect Zhao Wenshui to suddenly appear. After all, Zhao Wenshui had been lying in bed for almost a month and they had almost forgotten about him. They didn't expect Zhao Wenshui to suddenly appear and ask to eat at the table. The eldest branch couldn't help but look surprised. Zhao Wenshui squeezed in and sat down. He even called out to Zhao Baoshan, "Father, hurry up and pour me a full glass of wine. I'll ask you if you'll let me drink. Hurry up and fill it up." Zhao Baoshan couldn't help but get angry when he saw Zhao Wenshui's behavior. "This brat," Zhao Wenshi asked, "Second brother, have you recovered from your injuries? Can you sit on your butt now? I haven't seen you come out for so many days, but you've recovered today?" Zhao Wenshui smiled embarrassedly. "Yes, I'm fine today. Elder brother, your house is so lively today. How can I miss it? I'll definitely come out." Zhao Baoshan snorted softly. "Ha, your words sound good, but do you think others don't know what you're thinking? Wasn't it because he was greedy and wanted to eat that he ran out? When there was nothing to eat, she would hide in the house, but when there was food, she would rush out. Saying that he hasn't recovered from his injuries, I think he's just being lazy and doesn't want to work, so he's using his injuries as an excuse." Zhao Baoshan mercilessly exposed Zhao Wenshui, making him lose face. After all, he still wanted to save some face in front of so many people. After Zhao Wenshui heard Zhao Baoshan's reprimand, Zhao Baoshan grumbled unhappily, "Father, how can you say that about me?" Zhao Baoshan snorted coldly, "Why can't I say that? Am I not telling the truth? If you have the face to do it, why don't you have the face to admit it? How did our old Zhao family raise such a lazy person like you? You've done inhumane things. I thought you would change after suffering, but you're still the same. You haven't improved at all." Chapter 15-19. Zhao Baoshan's words could be said to make Zhao Yun feel very satisfied. No one in the old Zhao family could reprimand Zhao Wenshui, so Zhao Baoshan was the most suitable. After being scolded by Zhao Baoshan, Zhao Wenshui didn't dare to say anything back. After Zhao Yun was secretly happy, she decided to add fuel to the fire and went to Zhao Baoshan and Zhao Wenshui. "Ah, second uncle, the injury on your butt has healed? That's great, congratulations." Seeing that Zhao Yun was talking to him, Zhao Wenshui was embarrassed to not say anything, so he pulled the corner of his mouth and showed an ugly smile to Zhao Yun. Yes. Zhao Wenshui had just finished laughing, but the next second he couldn't laugh anymore. He saw Zhao Yun say, "Second uncle, you don't know, but when I passed by your family's field last time, I saw that your field was full of grass and the rice was almost dried up. Now that the injury on your butt has healed, you can go to the paddy field to work. The rice in the field won't go to waste, and there will be a harvest this year." Zhao Baoshan's brows immediately twisted together. "Yun, girl, what, the second branch's paddy field is barren?" Zhao Baoshan didn't seem to know, because his field and Zhao Wenshui's field were separated by some distance. He thought that the second branch's paddy field was worked by Li Chuang, but he didn't expect that Li Chuang didn't work and actually let the field be barren. He didn't take care of it for a month, so it was estimated that there wouldn't be any rice harvested this year. Zhao Yun nodded and said, "Yes, master, I just saw it this morning. It's a pity that the barren field is barren, and the good rice is probably gone." Zhao Baoshan was a little angry. He glared at Zhao Wenshui with resentment. Zhao Wenshui was frightened by Zhao Baoshan's sharp eyes and hurriedly avoided them. He muttered, "Dad, why are you staring at me? You can't blame me for this. After all, I was injured and couldn't work in the field." Zhao Baoshan said, "You brat, how dare you say that it has nothing to do with you? Where's your face? Where's your face?" He actually had the nerve to say such words. He was obviously slacking off and pretending to be injured. He hid in the house and refused to come out. He was really injured. "If it weren't for the fact that you were craving for food and wine today, I reckon you probably wouldn't have come out. The family's field was given to you, but you brat, you actually ruined it like this. You really make me angry." How can the old Zhao family have such a prodigal son like you? Zhao Wenshui was very embarrassed by Zhao Baoshan's scolding. Zhao Baoshan was not satisfied with his scolding, so he directly picked up the wooden stick on the ground and began to hit Zhao Wenshui. I'll beat you to death, you prodigal son. The harvest of our old Zhao family's several mu of fields has been ruined by you. What's the use of raising you? You only know how to slack off and do a lot of bad things. You're a disgrace to our old Zhao family. Why doesn't God have eyes and take your life along the way? Zhao Baoshan felt his chest tighten when he thought of what Zhao Wenshui had done these days. He was almost angered to death by Zhao Wenshui. There was no such lazy person in the old Zhao family, but Zhao Wenshui was like this. He didn't act like a man at all. Zhao Wenshui was beaten until he kept shouting. There were even red marks on his body. Zhao Baoshan did not show any mercy. Dad, stop hitting me. It hurts. Dad, please let me go. I'll die if you hit me again. Chapter 15:20. How could Zhao Baoshan let Zhao Wenshui off so easily? Instead, he continued to chase and hit him, scolding him as he hit him. For a moment, old Zhao's house was in a state of chaos. Zhao Yun watched as Zhao Wenshui was chased and hit by Zhao Baoshan. The scene was quite funny. However, Zhao Wenshui deserved to be taught a lesson this time. After all, Zhao Wenshui was really too disgusting. If he didn't teach him a lesson, he wouldn't know how to improve. In the end, Zhao Baoshan was probably a little tired from the beating, so he stopped to catch his breath. Wu Chunhua walked up and said to Zhao Baoshan, "Old man, stop hitting him. Wenshui's injuries have just healed. He can't take a beating. Aren't you afraid that you'll hurt him?" Zhao Baoshan snorted softly. "Hurt him? How can I hurt him? This brat only knows how to anger people. He ruined a few acres of paddy fields. How can I not clean them up?" However, Hu Chunhua's heart ached for her son. She felt that Zhao Wenshui shouldn't be blamed for this matter. Her second daughter-in-law was more to blame. "Old man, you can't say that. Our second son has been lying in the house all this time. He doesn't know what's going on with the paddy fields outside. But our second daughter-in-law is different. She doesn't go to the fields to take a look. She doesn't know how to work and take care of the paddy fields. Otherwise, how could the paddy fields be wasted? Speaking of laziness, our second daughter-in-law is even lazier. Our second son didn't know that the paddy fields were wasted. However, our second daughter-in-law clearly knew that grass was growing in the paddy fields. She didn't take care of it and let the paddy fields be wasted. In this matter, our second daughter-in-law is more responsible. So old man, you can hit people, but you can't chase after our second son and hit him. You even hit him so hard." Upon hearing Hu Chunhua's words, Zhao Wenshui immediately chimed in, Yes, yes, yes. Father, you can't blame me for this matter. I didn't know, right? Tianyu's mother should help take care of the family's paddy field. You clearly know that the paddy field is dry and the grass is growing, so you can do it alone. Why do you have to expect me to do it?" As soon as Zhao Wenshui finished speaking, Li Chuanying came out of the second branch's room and scolded Zhao Wenshui. "Zhao Wenshui, do you have any conscience? During this period of time, all the housework has been done by me alone. Every day I have to do this and that, and I even have to serve you. I have to personally bring the food to your hands for you to eat. You still expect me to do the work in the paddy field? Do you want me to die of exhaustion? Besides, I don't know how to do these things. What's the point of expecting a woman to do farm work? In the end, isn't it all because of you? If you didn't have an affair with that widow Qian, you wouldn't have been beaten so badly that you can't work anymore. Now you're talking about me. I don't know where you get the shame from." Li Chuanying was also very angry with Zhao Wenshui, so she said these words. She also said these words to vent her anger. Anyway, no matter how good she was to Zhao Wenshui was a heartless person. Then from now on she didn't have to be like this. Li Chuanying's heart was completely broken this time. The other members of old Zhao's family didn't say anything. Hu Chunhua felt that it was natural for her daughter-in-law to be good to her son, so she said to Li Chuanying, "Second daughter-in-law, what are you saying?" Chapter 15:21. In Hu Chunhua's opinion, if Li Chuanying did not work in the fields, then Li Chuanying was in the wrong. After all, there were many women in the village who worked in the fields. After hearing Hu Chunhua's words, Zhao Yun finally understood what it meant to be shameless. Wu Chunhua was like this, twisting the truth and distorting the truth. In order to protect the person she wanted to protect, she would pour all the dirty water on others. Seeing Li Chuanying like this, she was really pitiful. She had a weird man and a weird mother-in-law. Chen Zhozhe, who was listening from the side, could not help but advise, Mother, you can't say that about second sister-in-law. It's not easy for second sister-in-law to take care of the whole family alone. She needs two people to help her with the work in the fields. As a woman, second sister-in-law really can't do it. Zhozha was speaking from a fair point of view. She had seen how hard Li Chuang had been working over the past few days. On the contrary, Zhao Wenxue had refreshed her understanding of him. There was actually a man who was so lazy that he pretended to be recuperating in bed for such a long time so that his wife could take care of him instead of working. Wasn't he afraid that maggots would grow on his body? Fortunately, her Zhao Wentao was not like this. He was a hard-working man. Otherwise she would probably be angered to death. Thinking about her second sister-in-law, she was probably very upset right now. She had obviously been wronged, but her in-laws were unreasonable. Not only did they not speak up for Zhao Wenxue, they even blamed her. Although they were biased towards their son, they should not be so biased, right? Hua Chunhua glared at Chen Zhozha and said, "Fourth daughter-in-law, why are you still helping this lazy woman? Do you want to be like her? Even if the land goes to waste, you won't do it?" After being scolded by Hua Chunhua, Chen Zhozha sighed. She did not know what she was arguing about with Hua Chunhua. Who asked Hua Chunhua to be so unreasonable? What was the point of arguing with an unreasonable person? She could only pity her second sister-in-law. After all, she was a daughter-in-law and had her own helplessness. She couldn't be too harsh on her mother-in-law, or she would be scolded to death. When Zhao Wenxue heard that Hua Chunhua's words were all biased towards him, he quickly chimed in, that's right. Other people's wives are all good at work, why are you so lazy and not doing it?" Li Chuang felt it was ironic to hear what Hua Chunhua and Zhao Wenxue said. A bitter smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. "Mother Zhao Wenxue, you don't treat me as a person at all. Everything in the second branch fell on my head. I worked myself to death, but I couldn't even do a good job. Instead, I was scolded like this. Zhao Wenxue, you know very well how I've been serving you these days. You're a man, but you have the nerve to pretend to recuperate and not work. Instead, you're reprimanding me. I don't know where you get the nerve to do that. Since you don't want to see me, then fine. At worst, we'll divorce. You can live with whoever you want. I won't serve you anymore." If it were any other time, Li Chuang would not say such things. But now she was so angry that she had no choice. Or rather, she was desperate. If she lived with Zhao Wenxue, this man was afraid of anyone. He could even torture her to death. If she left as soon as possible, she might still be able to live. After Li Chuang said this, Hua Chunhua was stunned. She had never thought that a married woman would still want a divorce. After all, she felt that it was a shameful thing. But Li Chuang actually brought it up. Chapter 1522. Feng Zhangxia also tried to persuade her. "That's right, second sister-in-law. No matter what, we won't have to get into an amicable divorce. You and second brother have been husband and wife for decades. As the saying goes, one day as husband and wife means endless devotion for the rest of your life. If it's not a special occasion, you can't get into an amicable divorce. Second sister-in-law, you have to calm down. Let's talk things out. If we get into an amicable divorce, everyone will think that old Zhao's family is a joke," Zhao Wentao said. How could Li Chuang not understand what these people were saying in her heart? She just felt very unreconciled. It was because the people of old Zhao's family were sure that she would not be with them that they bullied her so unscrupulously. Hua Chunhua was stunned for a while and said even more brazenly, she dares to get a divorce? That's really strange. A woman in her 30s or 40s. If she gets a divorce and goes back to her family, isn't she afraid that her family will laugh at her? I don't think she has the face to do that. Even if she does, her family won't let her go back. What are you trying to persuade her for? She's just making a fuss. Does she really dare to leave our second brother? Li Chuang was even angrier when she heard Hua Chunhua's words. Zhao Yun was watching from the side. When she saw Hua Chunhua's overbearing and arrogant manner, she felt disgusted. Hua Chunhua really showed the image of an evil mother-in-law vividly. Zhao Wenxue was originally worried, but when he heard Hua Chunhua's words, he immediately felt relieved. His mother was right. He didn't believe that Li Chuang would really leave him. If she dared to leave and her family didn't accept her, she would have to obediently come back and beg him. Sure. Li Chuang's lips curled into a smile. Anyone who had been humiliated like this would feel suffocated in their hearts. If that's the case, then let's get a divorce. Old Zhao's family doesn't care whether I live or die in the future. Anyway, Zhao Wenxue, I'm not going to serve you anymore. Mother, if you have that ability, then find a wife for him. I don't believe that any woman would be so stupid. Her mother-in-law is an evil mother-in-law, and her husband is a lazy and good-for-nothing who likes to flirt with other women. She works herself to death every day doing this and that. Who would be willing to marry him? Li Chuanying said and ran back to the second branch's room to start packing. As long as she was alive, she had to fight for herself. If she compromised today, the Zhao family would look down on her even more. They would also bully her even more. He really couldn't bear this kind of life any longer. His heart was like dead ashes. Even if he went back to his mother's house to suffer, it was still better than staying in old Zhao's house. Seeing Li Chuanying packing up, Zhao Jing'er hurried forward and asked, "Mother, are you really leaving?" Seeing Zhao Jing'er, Li Chuanying choked with sobs. "Ah, Jing'er, you saw it too. Mother had no choice. After being bullied by your father and grandmother to this extent, Mother is afraid that I will be forced to death by them in the afternoon." "Mother, you are a good child. I believe you can understand that it's not that Mother doesn't want you, but that I really have no choice." Zhao Jing'er naturally understood. During this period of time, her father had bullied her mother very badly. This time, it was indeed her father and her grandmother who had bullied her. Zhao Jing'er thought about it and said to Li Chuanying, "Mother, I support you in leaving. When I get married, I can be filial to you. You have to suffer a little for now. I will help you settle down later." Chapter 15:23. Hearing Zhao Jing'er's words, Li Chuanying wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes and said to Zhao Jing'er, "Jing'er, you are really my good daughter. Mom, hurry up and pack up. Let's go." "Okay." Li Chuanying didn't have many things, only a few pieces of clothes. She packed up in a short while and left with it. Seeing Li Chuanying's attitude, it seemed that she was determined to divorce Zhao Wenshui and leave old Zhao's house. "I'm leaving now. Send the divorce papers to my mother's house," Li Chuanying said and walked out of old Zhao's yard. When Huo Chunhua saw this, she was dumbfounded. This second daughter-in-law actually wanted to leave. If Li Chuanying left, wouldn't the second branch be finished? Who would take care of Zhao Wenshui? She was already so old. She couldn't help her son do this and that, could she? It was tiring to cook and wash clothes by herself every day. After all, she was getting old and couldn't walk properly. Huo Chunhua stood there in a daze. The other members of old Zhao's family hurriedly stopped Li Chuanying and persuaded Li Chuanying, "Second sister-in-law, you can't leave. We can't do without a woman at home. Second brother can't cook and Tianyu needs someone to take care of him. Second brother is a rough man and can't be relied on. If you leave, Tianyu will suffer too." Speaking of Zhao Tianyu, Li Chuanying looked in Zhao Tianyu's direction. Seeing this son, Li Chuanying was indeed worried and reluctant to leave. However, she knew very well that if she really left, old Zhao's family wouldn't leave her alone. Huo Chunhua treasured her grandchildren very much. It was impossible that she wouldn't even give Zhao Tianyu something to eat. She couldn't be trapped because of the child. She couldn't be bullied by old Zhao's family because of the child. Li Chuanying snorted and said, "That's old Zhao's business. Tianyu is old Zhao's child. If you don't care, why should I care? No matter if it's food, drinks or anything else, he can just look for his father. Why must he look for me?" After Li Chuanying finished speaking, Huo Chunhua pointed at Li Chuanying angrily and said, "Listen to him. Listen to him. What the hell did he say? He really pissed me off. Old Zhao's family is really unlucky to have such a daughter-in-law." After Huo Chunhua finished scolding, old Zhao's other family members frowned and tried to persuade her, "Mother, don't say any more. Besides, second sister-in-law has really left." "That's right, Mother. Now that second sister-in-law is gone, it's second brother and the two children who will suffer. Why are you scolding him instead of persuading him?" "Scold? What's wrong with me scolding him? Am I not allowed to be scolded?" "Mother, if you scold him, how can we make second sister-in-law stay? Are we really going to let her go?" "That's right, Mother. If second sister-in-law leaves, second brother and the two children will be the ones crying. You'll have to work hard too, right?" No matter what, it's not good for second sister-in-law to leave. Huo Chunhua's originally soaring arrogance was greatly reduced, but she still did not relent. Zhao Yun'er watched from the side with a cold smile on her face. Huo Chunhua was really hopelessly stupid. Where did she get the confidence that Li Chuanying could not leave old Zhao's family? Even at this time she still said such things. In order to make Huo Chunhua come to her senses, Zhao Yun'er poked Huo Chunhua's sore spot. "Grandmother, all the uncles and aunts are right. We still can't let second aunt leave. If second aunt leaves and divorces second uncle will become a bachelor." Chapter 1524. At the mention of money, Hua Chuanhua's expression finally changed. Her gaze fell on Zhao Yuner as if she wanted to hear Zhao Yuner continue. When Zhao Yuner saw Hua Chuanhua's reaction, she knew that her words had touched Hua Chuanhua's heart. She continued, "Let's talk about the problem of money. With your second uncle's condition, he has done so many shameful things. Everyone in the village knows that it won't be easy for him to get married again. I estimate that he'll have to pay several times more than an ordinary girl. Also, if he marries a woman as old as your second uncle, she'll probably have a child with her. When the time comes, old Zhao's family can't help raise other people's children, right?" After hearing Zhao Yuner's words, Hua Chuanhua immediately felt that it was very reasonable. Old Zhao's family naturally couldn't raise other people's children. At the thought of spending a lot of money, Hua Chuanhua felt her heart bleeding. She wasn't willing to spend so much money. After hearing Zhao Yuner's words, other than Hua Chuanhua's thoughts, the eldest branch also began to make plans in their hearts. Zhao Wenshi leaned in front of Hua Chuanhua and said, "Mother, you can't only be partial to second brother. If you give second brother so much money to get married, the other branches will have to give the same amount of money later, right?" Feng Zhangxia added, "That's right, mother. We're all sons, so we have to be equal. No matter what, we can't care about second brother alone. Previously, second brother caused so much trouble, so he's already spent a lot of money." After hearing the eldest branch's words, Hua Chuanhua knew that it was even more impossible for her to fork out the money. If she gave so much money to each branch, where would she get the money? Hua Chuanhua frowned. She knew that she shouldn't let Li Chuanying leave. She had to keep Li Chuanying. He didn't want to say anything at first, but now that he was forced, he had no choice but to say, "Then second daughter-in-law shouldn't have left. Mother, please persuade second sister-in-law." Qian Zhozhi sighed and tried to persuade her. After all, Hua Chuanhua was indeed wrong in this matter. Perhaps if Hua Chuanhua softened her tone, Li Chuanying would not be so angry that she wanted to leave. Qian Zhirong then turned to Zhao Wenshui and advised, "Second brother, don't just stand there. Persuade second sister-in-law. You still have to treasure this daughter-in-law. What will you do without her?" Hua Chuanhua couldn't swallow her pride. Just now he was so aggressive. How could she be willing to lower her head to Li Chuanying now? Seeing that Hua Chuanhua and Zhao Wenshui were unmoved, Qian Hong was very anxious. What should she do now? If she didn't say anything, Li Chuanying would really leave. Zhao Baoshan, who had been silent for a while, spoke, "Old woman, why aren't you going? Do you want your son to be a bachelor for the rest of his life? And second brother, you brat. Not only did you embarrass the old Zhao family, but you also want to drive your wife away, right?" "Old man, father?" Zhao Baoshan glared at the two of them and swung the stick in his hand at Zhao Wenshui. "What are you waiting for? Hurry up and go." Although Zhao Wenshui and Hua Chuanhua were a little unwilling, they still went to Li Chuanying and tried to persuade Li Chuanying to stay. Chapter 1525. Wife, don't be angry with me. We're already so old. What's the point of getting a divorce? Let's live happily in the future. Second sister-in-law, mother and second brother have already said so. Don't be angry and stay. We're a harmonious family. That's right. It hasn't been easy for us to live together for so many years. We can't make such a fuss and let other people laugh at our old Zhao family. Zhao Baoshan also stood up and went to Li Chuanying. He said softly, "Second sister-in-law, it's second brother and your mother's fault today. Second brother is a scoundrel. He's too lazy to give birth to maggots. Thank you for taking care of him during this period. I'll definitely help you discipline him in the future. You won't be like this again. And your mother, her words aren't nice either. She's ignorant and only knows how to make a fuss. I'll help you reprimand her. Calm down and don't argue with an old woman like her." Li Chuanying felt that it was better to believe in nonsense than these people. She ignored them and turned around. "Stop talking. I'm determined to leave today. It's useless no matter how much you say." With that, Li Chuanying broke free from old Zhao's family and walked away. Looking at Li Chuanying's back, old Zhao's family knew that Li Chuanying couldn't stay. After Li Chuanying was far away, old Zhao's family sighed. Qian Hongzhao said, "Sigh, it's not good for second sister-in-law to leave now. What about second brother and the rest?" Zhao Baoshan also frowned and looked worried. "It's all because of second brother and that old woman. They even made our daughter-in-law run away. I've seen it for myself." He didn't know what to say about Zhao Wenshui and Hua Chuanhua. Hua Chuanhua not only didn't blame Zhao Wenshui, but also added fuel to the fire, which made Li Chuanying angry and run away. He wondered what was in this old woman's head. Was it filled with sh*t? Zhao Wenshui and Huo Chuanhua's arrogance immediately subsided. They didn't know what to say, because he was already dumbfounded. Gone, really gone? Zhao Wenshui suddenly felt bitter in his heart. He felt a faint sadness at the thought of no one serving him. During this period of time, Li Chuanying waited on him and she enjoyed it immensely. He wouldn't be able to take it if Li Chuanying was gone. Besides, Li Chuanying was a woman. When she wanted to have sex, she could do it a little. That way she would be able to expel whatever was in her body. Without Li Chuanying, he wouldn't have a woman by his side. Who would he find to vent his anger on? Meanwhile, Huo Chunhua was thinking about Zhao Yun'er's words. If Li Chuanying really didn't come back, then she naturally couldn't let Zhao Wenshui be a bachelor for the rest of his life. If that happened, she would have to spend a lot of money. Just thinking about it made her heart bleed. After Zhao Baoshan finished scolding, he sighed. He really didn't know what else to say. Qin Hongzhao said, "Sai, there's nothing we can do now. We can only wait for second sister-in-law to calm down after she returns to her maiden home. Then, second brother will go to second sister-in-law's maiden home to persuade her to come back." Chapter 1526. Zhao Wenshui nodded heavily and said, "Father, I understand. I'll go and coax her later." Zhao Baoshan responded. His anger seemed to have subsided a little, but he was still dissatisfied with Zhao Wenshui. The original commotion finally stopped. Old Zhao's family members all had different thoughts. Several sisters-in-law lamented that it was not easy to be a woman. If a man did not dote on or love her, it would indeed be troublesome. Just like now, it was not good for either side to have a peaceful separation. Zhao Yun'er's lips curled into a smile. She was very appreciative of Li Chuanying's behavior. Her second aunt had finally toughened up for once. The way she turned and left was simply too cool. As a woman, sometimes she had to be bold and do some things. Otherwise, she would be bullied, looked down upon, and suppressed by men. In fact, it would be a good thing if Li Chuanying really left a disgusting man like Zhao Wenshui. Although it would be a little late to escape the sea of suffering, it was better than not escaping at all. As long as she worked hard in the future, it was not impossible for her to live. Father, mother, all right. Let's not think about second brother and second sister-in-law's matter. Hurry and sit down to eat. My in-laws are still here. We've delayed the meal. Zhao Baoshan sighed. Only then did he react. Indeed, this kind of thing in front of outsiders this year would only make them a laughing stock. The most important thing today was to entertain the first branch's in-laws. Instead, because of other things, they kept others waiting and did not eat. Zhao Baoshan tugged the corner of his mouth and revealed a smile. He called out to Zhou Damei and Old Man Jean and said, "In-laws, we've made you laugh. Hurry and eat. You must be hungry, right?" Zhou Damei smiled embarrassedly and said, It's fine. Old Man Jean also waved his hand and said, "Yes, it's fine. We're not hungry." Zhou Damei and Old Man Jean were just talking. In fact, they were already hungry and craving for food. Looking at the table full of good food and wine, they originally thought that they could eat and drink immediately. They did not expect that such a troublesome matter would delay them for so long. As outsiders, they naturally had no interest in interfering. After all, it had nothing to do with them. Zhou Damei and Old Man Jean only wanted to eat, while Old Man Jean only wanted to drink. After all, they couldn't just let the old Zhao's family cause trouble while their family ate and drank by themselves. Although the dishes on the table were indeed for their family. "We've made a fool of ourselves in front of our in-laws. Let's drink more today." Old Man Jean chuckled. It's fine. It's normal for the house to be noisy. AI. Zhao Baoshan sighed and didn't want to talk about it. After eating and drinking, Feng Zhangxia called out to the other families and said, "Today is the first time our future daughter-in-law has come to our house. As an elder, we should give her some red packets as a token of our appreciation." Feng Zhangxia opened her mouth to ask everyone to give red packets to Jinju. If it weren't for the red packets, Feng Zhangxia wouldn't have been so attentive to call the other families to eat together and cook so many dishes to entertain them. This was the traditional custom of the countryside. When a daughter-in-law came to visit for the first time, the future mother-in-law and relatives in the family had to give red packets. In other words, the other families in old Zhao's family had to give some red packets as a festive occasion. Hearing that it was money, the other families didn't say anything. After all, when they got married in the future, it was the same. Chapter 1527. Chen Zurio added, Sister-in-law, I'll go to the house to get some. But we're poor, so I'll just give you a little. Don't think it's too little? Feng Zhangxia naturally thought that the more the others gave, the better. This would make them look good. But since Chen Zurio said so, he was too embarrassed to say anything else, so he nodded and said, "Okay, it's nothing. How can I dislike it? It's your kind intentions." Chen Zurio smiled and replied, "That's good. As long as you don't dislike it, sister-in-law." Feng Zhangxia secretly cursed his third sister-in-law for being too stingy. They weren't poor, so what if she gave him a little more? His third brother had drunk so much wine at his house in the afternoon. The wine added up to a lot of money. The third and fourth branches agreed, but the second branch didn't say anything. Feng Zhangxia looked at Zhao Wenshui and said, "Second brother, why aren't you saying anything? Can't you at least give me a red packet?" Zhao Wenshui muttered in his heart. Why should he give? He didn't have a single cent on hand. What else could he give? Not only did he have no money, but he also owed Hua Chunhua a lot. He didn't even have the money to buy medicine. He had to borrow it from Hua Chunhua. Zhao Wenshui replied with a bitter face, "Sister-in-law, after my but was injured, I used all my money to buy medicine. Now I owe a lot of money. I don't have a single cent on hand, so I can't take it out." Feng Zhangxia frowned and looked a little displeased. She didn't know if Zhao Wenshui really didn't have any money or if it was just an excuse. "Second brother, you drank a lot today and ate a lot of food. Our family can't treat you for nothing. Tianhu's marriage is a big deal. If you don't even give it to him as his uncle, you'll be laughed at by your in-laws. How about this, you don't have to give more. Just give me 50 copper coins. If you really can't take it out, second brother, you can borrow from mother again. Mother will definitely lend it to you." Zhao Wenshui's face was bitter. But what? Second brother, do you not want to take out the money?" "No, sister-in-law, how could that be? I really don't have any money. Mother has already borrowed a lot of money. If you want to borrow more money, mother will definitely not give it to you. Then I'll lend it to you. Remember to return it to me later." Zhao Wenshui was rendered speechless by Feng Zhangxia. It seemed that if he didn't pay up today, Feng Zhangxia wouldn't give up. Zhao Wenshui had no choice but to say, Okay. Sister-in-law, can you lend me 50 copper coins as my red packet? I'll pay you back when I have money." Only then was Feng Zhangxia satisfied. "Alright, second brother, let's do it this way. You must remember this 50 copper coins later. Don't drag it out and refuse to give it to me." Zhao Wenshui replied helplessly, Yes, sister-in-law. Don't worry. If I have money, I'll definitely give it to you." "Alright, that'll do." Qin Red Date had already run into the house. She took out 30 copper coins and handed it to Feng Zhangxia. Feng Zhangxia glanced at it and estimated how much it was. She felt very uncomfortable and secretly scolded Chen Red Date for being stingy. Couldn't she give more? How could she have the nerve to take out such a small amount? Liang Jinxiao went into the house and took out some money, 66 copper coins. Lu De Shun was an auspicious number. It was a festive number. Chapter 1528. She had asked for 50 copper coins from the second household, so the fourth household had given her the least. Feng Zhangxia's mouth twitched, but she couldn't say anything. She felt that the third household had taken advantage of this meal. Her food and wine added up to more than 30 copper coins. She had suffered a huge loss. If something like this happened again, she wouldn't ask the fourth household to join in. Qian Zhuzhui didn't know that Feng Zhangxia thought it was too little. Actually, 30 copper coins was more than enough. Their family had just separated from the main household, so they had a lot of things to buy. Moreover, they were thinking of building their own house and moving out like the third household. They had to be frugal now so that they could save money to build a house. Feng Zhangxia took the money and went to Jinju. She also took a red packet of 188 copper coins and handed it to Jinju. "Ju, this is a red packet from me and your aunts. Keep it." Jinju was a little embarrassed and didn't reach out to take it. Zhou Damei quickly patted Jinju and said, "Ju, why are you doing this? Hurry up and take it. What's there to be embarrassed about?" Jinju hesitated for a moment, then slowly reached out and took the red packet from Feng Zhangxia. Seeing that Jinju had taken it, Zhou Damei pretended to be polite and said to Feng Zhangxia, "In-law, you're too polite. It's Juer's fortune to marry into your family." Feng Zhangxia smiled and replied, "It's my pleasure." For a moment, old Zhao's house was lively. After lunch, Zhao Tianhu sent the Jin family back. Old Zhao's family members went back to their own rooms. Zhao Yun cleared the dishes and started washing them. She let Liang Jinxiao carry Tian Tian. Liang Jinxiao carried Tian and swayed back and forth. After feeding Tian in the hot weather, she felt sleepy. Soon Tian fell asleep. When Liang Jinxiao saw this, he carried Tian back to the courtyard and put her on the bed to sleep. Liang Jinxiao walked out and said to Zhao Yuner, "Yuner, give it to mother. Mother will wash it." Zhao Yuner waved her hand and said, "No need, mother, it's almost done." Alright then, you wash it." Liang Jinxiao clutched her chest. She suddenly felt nauseous and wanted to vomit. She said to Zhao Yuner, "Yuner, the sour plum soup you made last time was not bad. Can I make some more for you? Mother wants to drink that." Zhao Yuner nodded and said, "Okay, I'll get some when we get back." Making sour plum soup was not a big deal, and it should be ready in a short while. It just so happened that Liang Jinxiao wanted to drink it and the other men in the house happened to be at work. It was indeed a good idea to give some sour plum soup on such a hot day. Liang Jinxiao nodded and said, "Okay. It's such a hot day, it's good to drink something cold," Zhao Yuner muttered. Liang Jinxiao laughed and said, "It's not that I want to drink it because of the volume, but I think that the sour taste is good. I don't know what's wrong with me recently, but I just want to drink something sour. I always feel that eating something sour will make me feel better." Zhao Yuner frowned and asked, "You want to eat something sour?" "Yes. And I feel uncomfortable, like I want to vomit." "Vomit?" "Yes." "Mother, are you sick?" Zhao Yuner asked with concern. Chapter 1529. Is that so? Do you want to see a doctor? Liang Jinxiao shook her head and said, There's no need. It's too troublesome. Moreover, it would cost some money to get a doctor to see her. She had to save the money. Zhao Tianan was married and there were many things that needed money at home. Seeing Liang Jinxiao's insistence, Zhao Yuner did not say much. She only said, "Mother, if you're not feeling well, don't push yourself. We have to see a doctor when it's time." Liang Jinxiao nodded heavily and said, "Yuner, I know. If I can't, I won't push myself." "That's good." As they spoke, Liang Jinxiao suddenly clutched her chest and began to retch again. Zhao Yuner saw that the situation was a little serious and said very seriously, "Let me see. Don't drag it out. Let the doctor come over and take a look. I'll go get him now." Liang Jinxiao pulled Zhao Yuner back. She wanted to say that there was no need, but Zhao Yuner retorted, "Mother, I told you not to push yourself. It's not troublesome to get a doctor to take a look. Don't stop me." Liang Jinxiao had no choice but to say, "Oh, okay then." This time Zhao Yuner would probably have to spend money again. Liang Jinxiao felt bad about it. At this time Qian Zhozhi came out of the fourth house. Seeing that Liang Jinxiao was not feeling well, she went up to her and asked. After Liang Jinxiao explained her symptoms, Qian Zhozhi covered her mouth and laughed. "Third sister-in-law, are you pregnant? Isn't this what pregnancy looks like?" Liang Jinxiao was stunned. She had not thought of that at all. After all, she was already so old and had given birth to a few children. She should not be pregnant. "This can't be," Qian Zhozhi laughed and said, "Why can't it be? Third sister-in-law, it's not like there aren't any pregnant women at your age." Liang Jinxiao was so surprised that he didn't know what to say. If she were to tell others that she was pregnant at this age, she didn't know if others would laugh at her. After all, her two daughters were already so old. Her eldest daughter had just gotten pregnant. If she were to get pregnant, wouldn't she be giving birth to a child with her own daughter? Just thinking about it made him feel a little embarrassed. When Zhao Yuner heard Qian Zhozhi's words, she felt that it was very possible. "Mother, I think so too. You look like you're pregnant." Liang Jinxiao wasn't sure either. "I don't think so. I'm already 40 years old. Maybe it's just a coincidence. I've never seen a 40-year-old pregnant woman in the village." Seeing that Liang Jinxiao was still unwilling to accept the truth, it was kind of cute. "All right, mother, I'll call the doctor over. Won't we know once the doctor comes over?" Liang Jinxiao nodded and said, "That's true. Let's get a doctor to confirm it." If she was pregnant, then she would have to be more careful in the future. She couldn't work as casually as she was now. She couldn't do heavy physical work when she was pregnant. Zhao Yuner said, "Mother, then you should rest. I'll go and call Dr. Sun over now." Liang Jinxiao responded, "Okay, go ahead." Okay. Zhao Yuner ran quickly to Dr. Sun's house. When she arrived at Dr. Sun's house, she met an acquaintance, Ma Xiaofeng. Dr. Sun and Ma Xiaofeng were outside. The two of them were chatting about something. They were some distance away from Dr. Sun's house. Chapter 1530. Zhao Yun'er's curiosity drove her to move in the direction of the two people. However, she was careful not to let them discover her. According to her sixth sense, it should be something shameful. Otherwise, how could the two people run to such a secluded place? When Zhao Yun'er went over, she saw Ma Xiaofeng begging Dr. Sun, "Dr. Sun, please save my mother. If you don't save my mother will really die." Ma Xiaofeng was also forced to find the village doctor because she had no other choice. Although she had saved enough money these days and felt that it was enough, the doctor in Yang City refused to follow her to the countryside. Especially when he heard that he had to treat a woman's butt injury, he was even more unwilling. How could a man like him help a woman treat her butt? If this spread out, wouldn't he be laughed at? Therefore, no matter how much money he was given, he was unwilling to take on this job. Anyway, he didn't lack this money, so there was naturally no need for him to make a trip. No matter how long Ma Xiaofeng begged, no doctor in Yang City was willing to come and treat Qian Chuanxiu. Ma Xiaofeng saw that if a doctor didn't take a look at Qian Chuanxiu's butt, the injury would really be fatal. Therefore, she had to think of a way. As long as a doctor was willing to help, she would try her best. She couldn't wait any longer. After all, Qian Chuanxiu's injury couldn't be delayed for too long. Only now did she come to see if Dr. Sun could treat her. Zhao Yun'er frowned. At this moment, she could understand why Ma Xiaofeng dragged Dr. Sun to such a secluded place to talk. If Dr. Sun's wife saw them, Ma Xiaofeng would probably be driven away by Dr. Sun's wife before she could talk to Dr. Sunday. Dr. Sun sighed and said, "Little Feng, it's not that I don't want to help, but I can't help at all. You also know that my wife is very powerful. If she knows that I treated your mother's illness, the family will be in chaos. AI, don't make things difficult for me. Hurry up and go back. Don't come to me next time to avoid being misunderstood." Ma Xiaofeng suddenly became anxious. She pulled Dr. Sun's sleeve and said, "Doctor, you can ask for more for the treatment. As long as you can treat my mother's injury, I'm willing to go bankrupt. Dr. Sun, I beg you to save my mother's life. It's said that saving a life is better than building a 7-floor pagoda. In the future, my mother and I will remember your life-saving grace and repay you well." Dr. Sun's heart when he saw Ma Xiaofeng. But when he thought of his wife, he shook his head secretly. It was better not to get involved in this muddy water. He didn't want to save Qian Chuanxiu's life only to lose his own life. His wife's head when she found out the truth. "Little Feng, this isn't a matter of money. It's not that this old man doesn't want to help you, but there's really no other way." "Dr. Sun?" Ma Xiaofeng directly knelt on the ground and kowtowed several times to Dr. Sunday. "Dr. Sun, other than you, I don't know who else I can call to save my mother. You also know that my father passed away when I was very young. If my mother is gone, then won't my brother and I become orphans?" Chapter 1531. Dr. Sun hurriedly helped Ma Xiaofeng up from the ground. Okay, little Feng, don't blame me. Hurry up and get up. Aren't you making things difficult for me? If I could help, I would have done it long ago. I have no choice. If you want to ask, you have to ask my wife, not me. If she allows me to go, I will naturally go." Ma Xiaofeng was helped up, and there were still tears hanging from the corners of her eyes. Zhao Yun'er watched from the side and suddenly felt that Ma Xiaofeng was a little pitiful. After all, Qian Chuanxiu was her mother. Now that Qian Chuanxiu's injury was so serious that she was about to die, Ma Xiaofeng, as her daughter, was naturally worried, so it was understandable that she came to ask Dr. Sunday. It seemed that Ma Xiaofeng was a filial daughter. However, Zhao Yun'er didn't have a trace of sympathy for Qian Chuanxiu's situation. After all, Qian Chuanxiu's situation today was caused by her. If she hadn't been fooled by Zhao Wenshui and hooked up with Zhao Wenshui, she wouldn't be like today, lying in bed and about to die. Ma Xiaofeng wiped her tears. How could she beg Dr. Sun's wife? Dr. Sun's wife was very famous in the village. She was very shrewish and not easy to talk to. Even if she begged, she would be asking for trouble. Not only might she not get what she wanted, but she might also be scolded by that woman. After thinking about it, Ma Xiaofeng decided not to beg Dr. Sun's wife, but to beg Dr. Sunday. Because Dr. Sun was kind-hearted and easier to talk to, it would definitely be easier. "Dr. Sun, I'm not asking you to help my mother openly. You just have to go there secretly. You definitely won't let my aunt know." Ma Xiaofeng choked and said. Dr. Sun still shook his head. No, what if I'm caught? The consequences will only be more serious. Little Feng girl, that woman of mine must have skinned me alive. She's very scary. You don't have to beg me, just let me live. There are plenty of doctors out there. Can't you go and ask for more? But please, I beg you. Dr. Sun was about to turn around and leave when Ma Xiaofeng suddenly grabbed Dr. Sunday, seeing that no matter what he said, Dr. Sun would not agree. Dr. Sun didn't care about money and wasn't moved, but what about beauty? There were two things that men couldn't escape from. One was money and the other was beauty. She had no choice but to use her beauty to test if Dr. Sun would be moved. With this thought in mind, Ma Xiaofeng gritted her teeth and went into Dr. Sun's arms. Dr. Sun, if you're willing to save my mother, I'm willing to give you my body. I beg you, just save my mother. Dr. Sun was stunned. He never thought that Ma Xiaofeng would do this. Zhao Yuner, who was secretly watching from the side, was even more shocked by the scene in front of her. This Ma Xiaofeng really dared to do anything. Or rather, she was really shameless. She could even say such words. Zhao Yuner felt that her perception had been refreshed. Although Ma Xiaofeng had her own helplessness, she shouldn't have used this method. If others knew about this, Ma Xiaofeng would probably be drowned in the spittle of the villagers like Chen Chuanxiu. Dr. Sun hurriedly pushed Ma Xiaofeng away, but Ma Xiaofeng hugged him even tighter. Chapter 1532. Although Dr. Sun said so, his tone was soft and he didn't say anything more about Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng raised her head and blew into Dr. Sun's ear. Dr. Sun, I really don't understand why a capable and skilled person like you is afraid of your own woman. As the saying goes, if you marry a chicken, follow the chicken. If you marry a dog, follow the dog. A woman should follow the 3 obedience and 4 virtues. She should follow her husband at home and follow her son when her husband dies. So, you are a man at home, so you should be the first. You should listen to whatever Auntie says. Why are you controlled by Auntie everywhere? Isn't it too sullen to be a man? After Ma Xiaofeng finished speaking, Dr. Sun fell into silence. Thinking about it, he felt that Ma Xiaofeng's words were very reasonable. In the village, which family didn't listen to men? Basically, men were the masters of the house. Women couldn't act rashly in front of men. However, his family was different. His wife was completely suppressed by him. She was indeed a coward. His medical skills were good and he was a doctor. He was very respected in the village and could earn a lot of money. His wife could live a good life with him. Everything at home was earned by him. Why didn't his wife listen to him? Why did his wife care about what he wanted to do? Ma Xiaofeng saw that Dr. Sun was lost in thought and knew that her words had entered Dr. Sun's ears. She continued to fan the flames and said, Dr. Sun, if you go and help my mother, I will give you my body and serve you well. I am so young, so I will naturally be more comfortable than Auntie. If you treat my mother and Auntie finds out, it doesn't matter much. At that time, if Auntie dares to act rashly in front of you, you can say that you will divorce her. Anyway, she can't leave you. I promise that she will be obedient. She won't dare to do anything to you. Dr. Sun increasingly felt that Ma Xiaofeng's words made sense. Yes. If that woman dared to act rashly in front of him again, he would divorce her. Without him, would that woman be able to live a good life? He didn't dare to say anything on normal days. He was too obedient to his wife, and it had become a habit. That was why his wife had to control him. Ma Xiaofeng exerted even more strength. She endured the nausea in her heart and kissed Dr. Sun's face with a smack. She mumbled softly, Dr. Sun, don't you want me? Dr. Sun swallowed his saliva. How could he not want it? Every man liked young and beautiful women, and he was no exception. However, he was usually controlled by his wife, so he never had the thought of going out to find other women. He had heard that many men in the village would go to the brothels in town to have fun with young and beautiful women after they became rich. Moreover, these men also said that the feeling of playing with young and beautiful women was much better than playing with their own wives. Moreover, these women were flirtatious and unrestrained enough. They were able to enjoy themselves to the fullest every time. The old women at home could not compare to them. When Dr. Sun thought of this, he couldn't control himself. Ma Xiaofeng's faint body fragrance drifted into his nose. Dr. Sun's hand involuntarily touched Ma Xiaofeng's body. Little phone girl, Dr. Sun, how about it? Can you promise me? Save my mother, and I can guarantee that I will serve you comfortably. Chapter 1533. Even a hero would be sad, let alone a beauty. Dr. Sun didn't feel guilty when he thought about how the other men in the village didn't do the same. If it were those men, Wu Jin would have agreed even more readily than him. For so many years he had tolerated his wife at home. He had already treated her well enough. Seeing that Dr. Sun nodded in agreement, Ma Xiaofeng's mouth curled up into a smug smile. She knew that Dr. Sun would give in the end. Men were all the same. They couldn't get past a beauty. Although Dr. Sun was an old man and she would naturally feel disgusted if he did something to her, Ma Xiaofeng felt that it was nothing when she thought of her mother. As long as her mother was fine, she was willing to do anything. Anyway, this body was no longer a virgin. It didn't matter even if she gave it to Dr. Sunday. With her eyes closed, it wouldn't take much effort. She could even save a sum of money to save her mother. It would be a profit. Dr. Sun, quickly go and see my mother. Ma Xiaofeng pulled Dr. Sun and said impatiently. Dr. Sun pulled Ma Xiaofeng back and said, Little Feng, don't worry. Let's get this done first. After we're done, we'll go and see your mother's injuries. Ma Xiaofeng knew what Dr. Sun meant. Sure enough, men were all the same. They were all impatient. Since this would happen sooner or later, it wouldn't hurt to give it to Dr. Sun earlier. Ma Xiaofeng nodded and said, Okay. Dr. Sun will listen to you. After you're done, you'll have to see my mother. Dr. Sun hurriedly responded, Don't worry, little Feng. I'm a man of my words. I will never go back on my words. Okay. Dr. Sun rushed towards Ma Xiaofeng and began to undress Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng hurriedly stopped Dr. Sun and said to Dr. Sun, Dr. Sun, don't be anxious. Let's take it slow. This place isn't safe. Let's go inside so that we won't be discovered. It won't be good if we're seen. Dr. Sun hurriedly responded, That's right. Little Feng, you're right. We have to go in quickly so that we won't be discovered. Yes. Before Ma Xiaofeng pulled Dr. Sun into the grass, she looked around to make sure that there was no one around. Zhao Yuner hurriedly hid her body, not letting Ma Xiaofeng find out. However, Zhao Yuner found it hard to digest what had just happened. It was simply unimaginable that Dr. Sun was also such a lecherous man. Sure enough, all men in the world were the same. They couldn't leave the word lust. An old man like Dr. Sun shouldn't even think about doing that kind of thing. Zhao Yuner didn't know what to say other than being amazed. It was such a coincidence that she often ran into these dirty things in the village. Previously they bumped into Zhao Wenshui and Chen Chuanxiu. This time they bumped into Ma Xiaofeng and Dr. Sunday. She could reluctantly accept Zhao Wenshui and Chen Chuanxiu. However, she couldn't accept Ma Xiaofeng and Dr. Sunday. After all, Dr. Sun was so old. The age gap between him and Ma Xiaofeng was too big. Did Ma Xiaofeng really not feel disgusted to do that kind of thing? In order to achieve her goal, Ma Xiaofeng dared to do anything. This kind of person was too terrifying. Chapter 1534. Zhao Yuner's heart couldn't calm down for a long time. She didn't know what to say. Anyway, at this time her impression of Ma Xiaofeng and Dr. Sun had plummeted. Flattery wouldn't work. Anyway, they weren't good people. The pitiful one was Dr. Sun's wife, Old Lady Sunday. She was cuckolded but didn't know about it. Before Zhao Yuner left, she heard a woman's moans coming from the grass. However, this voice was obviously deliberately lowered for fear of being heard. Otherwise it would probably be loud. Zhao Yuner's heart was filled with a kind of nausea. When she thought of an old man galloping on a teenage girl, she really couldn't accept it. In less than 5 minutes there was no sound in the grass. It should be over. Although this Dr. Sun was lustful, he didn't seem to be very useful. He solved the matter so quickly. Perhaps it was because he was old and his physical strength wasn't as good as that of a young person. But since it was over so quickly, what was the fun in it? Dr. Sun couldn't control himself in the end. The two of them put on their clothes and came out of the grass again. Zhao Yuner saw a smile on Dr. Sun's mouth and a satisfied look. As for Ma Xiaofeng, although she was smiling, there was a sense of disgust in her eyes. Zhao Yuner could understand Ma Xiaofeng's mood. After all, she was done by an old man. It would be strange if she didn't feel disgusted. Dr. Sun, can you go to my house to see my mother now? Ma Xiaofeng couldn't wait to ask, for fear that Dr. Sun would go back on his word. Dr. Sun nodded and said, And I'll go now. You go back first. I'll go home and get a medicine box before I go over. Ma Xiaofeng nodded and responded, Okay, Dr. Sunday. Then you have to come over quickly. If she went with Dr. Sun, it would probably arouse suspicion and attention. Therefore, it was much safer to let Dr. Sun go to her house later. Don't worry, little Feng. Ma Xiaofeng then walked in the direction of her home, while Dr. Sun hummed a little tune and also went back to his home. Seeing Dr. Sun's leisurely appearance, it was as if he was still reminiscing about what had just happened. The truth was just as Zhao Yuner thought. It was Dr. Sun's first time meeting a young and beautiful girl at such an old age. The feeling was really good, much better than his wife. His wife's lower part was already soft and there was no feeling at all. How could it be as comfortable as Ma Xiaofeng's? After he was done, Dr. Sun felt a little unsatisfied. It was a pity that he couldn't control it. Otherwise he would have held on for a while longer. Zhao Yuner waited for Dr. Sun to arrive at her house before she pretended not to know anything and walked out of the bushes. She also walked in the direction of Dr. Sun's house. She didn't care what Dr. Sun had done. She just wanted to ask Dr. Sun to go over and help her check her mother's condition to confirm whether she was pregnant or not. As for the rest, she would plan it slowly. This time she would definitely make Ma Xiaofeng suffer. She wanted to see if Ma Xiaofeng would continue to be so cheap in the future. Zhao Yuner arrived at Dr. Sun's house. Dr. Sun's wife was working in the yard. Zhao Yuner walked forward and found that old lady Sun was chopping wood. Chapter 1535. It was no wonder that old Madame Sun was so fierce in the village because she had strength. It was estimated that few women in the village could beat old lady Sun in a fight. Compared to old Madame Sun, Dr. Sun was much thinner and weaker. Standing in front of old Madame Sun he looked so weak. Even a man like him couldn't beat old Madame Sunday. It was normal for him to be suppressed by old Madame Sunday. Hi-oh, old lady Sun continued to chop the wood. When Dr. Sun came back he just glanced at old Madame Sun faintly. He didn't even think about going forward to help old Madame Sunday. This was because Dr. Sun knew that even if he wanted to help, he was powerless. After all, he wasn't as strong as old Madame Sunday. Of course, Dr. Sun felt that it was natural for old Madame Sun to do these chores. He was busy earning money outside and old Madame Sun had to take care of these chores at home. When old Madame Sun saw Zhao Yuner coming over, she stopped what she was doing and asked Zhao Yuner, "Girl, what are you doing at my house?" Zhao Yuner smiled at old Madame Sun and said, "Auntie, I'm here to ask Dr. Sun to go to my house to check on my mother." Old Madame Sun asked casually, "What's wrong with your mother? Is she not feeling well?" Zhao Yuner shook her head and said, "That's not it. My mother has been feeling a little uncomfortable recently. She wants to vomit. Maybe she is pregnant, but I'm not sure. So I want Dr. Sun to go over and check if she is pregnant or something." When old Madame Sun heard this, she quickly nodded and said, "So that's the case. Then let my old man go and take a look. If your mother is really pregnant, having a child at such an old age is a joyous thing." "Ah yes. I'll have to trouble Dr. Sun to make a trip." Old Madame Sun smiled and said, "It's okay, let my old man go and take a look." "Thank you, Auntie." "Haha, you little girl, there's no need to be so polite." Dr. Sun just happened to go to the house to take a medicine box and was about to go to Ma Xiaofeng's house to take a look. Originally, he was afraid that his wife would ask him about the situation. Now that Zhao Yuner had come over, he could say that he was going to see Zhao Yuner's mother. After visiting Liang Jinxiao, he secretly went to visit Chen Chuanxiu. This way his wife would not ask about the details and naturally he would not give himself away. Dr. Sun came out of the house happily and walked to Zhao Yuner. He said to Zhao Yuner, "Little Yuner, if your mother is pregnant at this age, it will be a happy event. Let's go quickly. Take me to have a look." Zhao Yuner glanced at Dr. Sun and saw that Dr. Sun was putting on airs again. He looked very serious but behind his back he was the same as those disgusting men. Facing Dr. Sun's face, Zhao Yuner suddenly felt very disgusted. However, she had to continue to endure it. After all, she still hoped that Dr. Sun would take a look at her mother. "Okay, Dr. Sun, sorry to trouble you." Zhao Yuner pretended to be polite. Dr. Sun waved his hand and said, "It's okay, it's no trouble." Zhao Yuner came at the right time this time. Not only did he not feel that it was troublesome, but he was also grateful to Zhao Yuner for coming. "Then let's go, Dr. Sun." Okay. With that, the two of them walked in the direction of old Zhao's house one after another. Chapter 1536. Chen Zhozha and Liang Jinxiao brought out a stool, and the two sisters-in-law sat in the yard and chatted. When they talked about something happy they even covered their mouths and laughed. Waiting for Dr. Sun to come over, Chen Zhozha said to Liang Jinxiao, "Third sister-in-law, look, Dr. Sun is here. Let him take a look at you quickly." Liang Jinxiao responded, but she suddenly felt a little nervous. Dr. Sun came forward and greeted Liang Jinxiao with a smile. Then he asked Liang Jinxiao to stretch out her hand while he took Liang Jinxiao's pulse to check the situation. Liang Jinxiao cooperated and stretched out her hand. Dr. Sun put one hand on Liang Jinxiao's pulse. After a while, he withdrew his hand and said to Liang Jinxiao with a smile, "Congratulations, old Zhao's third daughter-in-law, you are indeed pregnant." After listening to Dr. Sun's words, Liang Jinxiao accepted the fact that she was pregnant. She was a little surprised and found it difficult to calm down. After all, it was amazing that she was pregnant at such an old age. Chen Zhozha smiled and said, "Third sister-in-law, I told you you must be pregnant. Sure enough, you really are." Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, "Yes, I didn't expect to be pregnant with a baby. I'm already 40 years old. If the child is born, won't it suffer with me? I won't be able to take care of it so well." Chen Zhozha patted Liang Jinxiao's shoulder and said, "Third sister-in-law, don't think so much. It definitely won't happen. Now that your family is in good condition, it's a blessing for the child to be born at this time. How can it suffer? If it was in the past, it probably wouldn't be able to eat and drink. Now that your family is in good condition, you can let the child eat and drink well. How great is that?" Zhao Yun'er saw that Liang Jinxiao was worried about this matter, so she reassured Liang Jinxiao, "Mother, don't worry. Whether you give birth to a little brother or a little sister, I will definitely help take care of them. Just like what fourth aunt said, if they come to our third branch now, they will only enjoy happiness and won't suffer." Liang Jinxiao was amused by Chen Zizhao's and Zhao Yun'er. Okay, I'm relieved to hear you say that. Ah. Third sister-in-law, having a child at an old age is actually something that many people envy. Yes, mother. Since she's pregnant, we should keep her and raise her. You should be happy too. Don't look unhappy. Otherwise, the baby in your belly will think that you don't like him. Liang Jinxiao responded with a smile. However, Dr. Sun reminded her, "Although it's a happy thing that you're pregnant, young sister, I have to remind you that you're already so old. You have to take it easy when you're pregnant. You have to be careful when you're doing anything. Don't bump into anything or get hurt. Moreover, it's not easy to give birth at this age. You have to find an experienced midwife first. This way, if there's an accident during the birth, it'll be easier to deal with it." Dr. Sun's words were all advice. Liang Jinxiao listened and nodded, "Well, Dr. Sun, I'll remember all of this. Thank you." Dr. Sun waved his hand, "It's what I should do. You're welcome. By the way, your fetus is a little unstable. I'll give you a prescription to prevent miscarriage later. Just take some medicine and you'll be fine. You're old and can't be compared to those young girls. You must be careful." Chapter 1537. That's good. If there's nothing else, I'll go back first. Dr. Sun turned around and left. In fact, he couldn't wait to go to Ma Xiaofeng's house. Liang Jinxiao hurriedly called out to Dr. Sun, "Dr. Sun, wait a minute. I haven't paid you the consultation fee yet. Why are you leaving?" Dr. Sun was stunned and then said, it's okay. Forget about the consultation fee. This isn't considered an illness. I've also checked your pulse. It's a happy event." Liang Jinxiao said, "Oh, Dr. Sun, how can I accept this? The money still has to be paid. You also want to be auspicious, don't you?" So Liang Jinxiao took out 28 copper coins from his pocket and handed it to Dr. Sun. "Come, Dr. Sun, take it. Don't be polite with me." Dr. Sun smiled, "All right then, since you're so courteous, I'll accept it. Congratulations to you today." "Ah, Dr. Sun, thank you too. Then I'll go first. Have a good rest. I'll get the medicine for you later." "Okay, sorry to trouble you, Dr. Sun." Dr. Sun waved his hand and Liang Jinxiao also waved his hand. Dr. Sun left the courtyard of old Zhao's house. Zhao Yun'er looked at Dr. Sun's back and thought for a while. Now it seemed that Dr. Sun was not bad. He was a good doctor. Although he couldn't control himself a little, it was still forgivable. However, Ma Xiaofeng deliberately seduced and used unscrupulous means, which still made Zhao Yun'er dislike her very much. Zhao Yun'er's eyes turned. If she let Ma Xiaofeng go this time, she might not be able to find such an opportunity in the future. Therefore, Zhao Yun'er didn't intend to let it go. The third branch was still immersed in joy. Liang Jinxiao no longer had those worries and began to like the child in her belly very much. She also wanted to give birth to a daughter in this pregnancy, just like Tiantian's child, well-behaved, sensible and pitiful. When people were old, they just liked to be with children. If they gave birth to another daughter, it would be good to pass the time. Chen Jue pulled Liang Jinxiao to sit down and said to Liang Jinxiao, "Third sister-in-law, don't always stand. It's not good for the child in your belly. You should rest more when you get back. If there's anything you can't do it yourself. If there's anything you need me to do, just tell me. Don't be polite with me. Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, I say, fourth sister-in-law, you are too nervous. It doesn't matter. We were pregnant at that time and mother sent us to do a lot of work. I didn't see anything wrong with us. Third sister-in-law, what you said is wrong. At that time when we were pregnant we were still young. What could have happened? You're 40 years old now. Just like what Dr. Sun said, you have to be careful. Zhao Yun also said, yes mother, you have to pay attention. You can also let me do the chores at home. Anyway, you take care of the fetus. Don't touch the hard work, lest it affects the fetus and hurts the child in the belly. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er and Chen Jure were so nervous, Liang Jinxiao had to nod helplessly and said, okay, don't worry. I will take care of myself later. If I can't do it, I won't force myself to do it. Hearing Liang Jinxiao's words, Zhao Yun'er was relieved. Mother, that's right. Give me a little sister or little brother later. Then there will be someone to play with. Tian. Chapter 1538. She was afraid that when she walked out with such a baby and was seen by others, they would mistakenly think that it was her grandson or granddaughter instead of her son or daughter. After all, it was indeed awkward to give birth at the age of 40. How could a mother give birth to a child with her daughter at the same time? Mother, this is good news. I'll inform father later. Father will definitely be happy when he hears it. Zhao Yun'er said with a smile. When your father comes back, I'll tell him quietly at night. I'm afraid that your eldest uncle and second uncle will laugh at me if they hear it. Mother, this is a happy event. What's there to laugh about? Well, there's nothing to laugh about, but mother still thinks that it's better to tell your father secretly. Zhao Yun'er respected Liang Jinxiao's decision. After all, this was a matter between Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua. Zhao Yun'er and Liang Jinxiao talked for a while. In order not to delay the next thing, she said to Liang Jinxiao, Mother, I'll send some eggs to Dr. Sun as a thank you to Dr. Sun today. Dr. Sun only asked for this little money, which is much less than usual. Let's be more generous. Liang Jinxiao felt that Zhao Yun'er was right, so he responded, Okay Yun'er, you go and arrange it. Well, okay mother, I'll send 10 eggs over. Okay. Zhao Yun'er said and went into the kitchen of the third branch. She took out 10 eggs in a basket and walked towards Dr. Sun's house. Zhao Yun'er sent these 10 eggs, of course, not just for the eggs but for the next plan. Zhao Yun'er arrived at the courtyard of old Madame Sun's house. Old Madame Sun had already chopped the wood and was now stacking the chopped wood together. Auntie. Zhao Yun'er walked over and called out. When old Madame Sun saw Zhao Yun'er coming over again, she was a little confused. Girl Yun'er, why are you here again? Zhao Yun'er explained with a smile. Just now, Dr. Sun took my mother's pulse, but he didn't ask for much. In order to express her gratitude, my mother asked me to send some eggs to Dr. Sun. Hearing this, old Madame Sun nodded and said, So that's how it is. Ah, congratulations to your mother. She's so lucky to have a son at such an old age. There aren't many people like your mother in our village. Zhao Yun'er also smiled and said, Yes. You little girl, you could have just asked my old man to bring it back. Why did you have to personally deliver it? Zhao Yun'er smiled and explained, I forgot at the beginning. It was only after Dr. Sun left that I remembered and hurriedly brought the eggs over. Old Madame Sun frowned and muttered in confusion. But my old man didn't come back. Where did he go? Zhao Yun'er pretended to be surprised and asked, Auntie, Dr. Sun didn't come back? He did leave from my house. Then where did he go? Why didn't he go home all of a sudden? Old Madame Sun was a suspicious person. Dr. Sun didn't come back directly at this time, so old Madame Sun began to let her imagination run wild. Zhao Yun'er patted her head and said, Auntie, I remember now. I was wondering why Dr. Sun didn't go home. He always went to the east of the village. Auntie, could it be that Dr. Sun went to treat someone else? Old Madame Sun frowned. Usually, her old man would greet her wherever he went. Why didn't he greet her today? Chapter 1539. That damn old man wouldn't have gone to treat Chen Chuanxiu's injury, right? Chen Chuanxiu's home was at the east end of the village. There weren't many families in the village. Other than going to Chen Chuanxiu's place, old lady Sun couldn't think of anyone else Dr. Sun would treat. When she thought that Dr. Sun might have gone to treat Chen Chuanxiu's injury, old lady Sun was furious. That old man had recently been whispering in her ear that Chen Chuanxiu was pitiful. If no one treated Qian Chuanxiu's injury well, Qian Chuanxiu would probably lose her life. Now it seemed that the old man might really be soft-hearted and went to treat Qian Chuanxiu's injury. He was probably afraid that she wouldn't agree if she knew about it, so he went there secretly without telling her. Old Lady Sun felt like she couldn't vent her anger. She immediately picked up the axe on the ground and decided to go to Dr. Sun to settle the score. She wanted to ask this old man where he got the guts to go over there. Without her consent, he actually helped another woman's butt. It was simply too much. Zhao Yun pretended to be puzzled as she looked at Old Lady Sun and asked, "Auntie, what's wrong with you?" Old Lady Sun said to Zhao Yun, girl, it's all thanks to you this time. Fortunately you came over to remind me. Otherwise I wouldn't have known. That damned old man must be hiding it from me and helping that widow Qian to treat her injuries. I'll go there and make a scene." Zhao Yun saw that Old Lady Sun was waving the axe in her hand. It was a little scary, but it was probably because of this that she was able to see Ma Xiaofeng and Qian Chuanxiu. "Auntie, maybe not. Dr. Sun wouldn't do this, right? You made a scene before. Is Dr. Sun really so bold to go there and treat Widow Qian's injury? If the people in the village knew about this, they would definitely laugh at him. I don't know what they would say behind his back." After Zhao Yun said this, Old Lady Sun's face became even darker. If the people in the village knew about this, besides laughing at Dr. Sun, she would also be laughed at. It was a big deal for a man to look at a woman's butt. Old Lady Sun couldn't stand others pointing fingers at her. Most importantly, Old Lady Sun was afraid that Qian Chuanxiu would seduce her husband after seducing Zhao Wenxue. After all, her man was helping Qian Chuanxiu look at her buttocks. He was looking carefully. How could a man hold himself back when he saw a beautiful woman's buttocks? In order to prevent this kind of accident from happening, she had to stop Dr. Sun from going over. If he fell into Qian Chuanxiu's trap, it was estimated that the Sun family would be in chaos. No, I have to hurry over and ask that old man where he got the guts to do this. He's treating my words like the wind passing through his ears. Old Lady Sun raised her axe and angrily ran in the direction of Ma Xiaofeng's house. Seeing Old Lady Sun like this, Zhao Yun's lips curled into a cold smile. In a while there would probably be another good show to watch. Of course, she couldn't leave her out of this good show. Zhao Yun also quickly sped up and caught up with Old Lady Sun's back. At this time, Dr. Sun was indeed helping Qian Chuanxiu look at her buttocks. Qian Chuanxiu was lying on the bed at this time, motionless as if she had lost her vitality. However, she was still alive and not really dead. Chapter 1540. After Dr. Sun saw it, he frowned. The situation was more serious than he had imagined. Fortunately, it wasn't untreatable. Ma Xiaofeng found him in time. If it was delayed any longer, even if Hua Tuo was alive, he probably wouldn't be able to cure Qian Chuanxiu's butt. Dr. Sun sighed slightly and felt that it was really a sin. Thinking about how Widow Qian had almost lost half her life because of her relationship with Zhao Wenxue, it was a pity. How could such a beautiful widow get together with a man like Zhao Wenxue? Even if she wanted to find someone, she should find someone better, right? Of course, these were only Dr. Sun's thoughts. He didn't say it out loud. It was none of his business who Qian Chuanxiu was with. Ma Xiaofeng stood aside. When she saw Dr. Sun frown after looking at her mother's butt, she knew that the situation was really serious. So she asked Dr. Sun, "Dr. Sun, can my mother's butt be saved?" Dr. Sun sighed, "With me here, of course she can be saved. It's just that it's a little troublesome to deal with. Fortunately, her life was saved in time. She should be able to recover after resting for a while." After listening to Dr. Sun's words, Ma Xiaofeng was relieved. This was good. As long as her mother's life could be saved, everything she did was worth it. Ma Xiaofeng came to Qian Chuanxiu and said to her, "Mother, did you hear what Dr. Sun said? Dr. Sun said that you can still be saved, so mother, you must hold on." Qian Chuanxiu still had some divine sense at this time. When she heard Ma Xiaofeng's words, she replied with difficulty, "Okay, Xiaofeng, mother will hold on." Ma Xiaofeng suddenly felt that her eyes were a little wet. She wanted to cry, so she wiped the corners of her eyes. Fortunately, everything was saved in time. Ma Xiaofeng really couldn't imagine what would happen to her and her brother if Qian Chuanxiu died. They would be even more pitiful by then. Dr. Sun stared at Qian Chuanxiu's butt and examined it. Then he said, "I'm almost done. This bottle needs to be applied first. I'll get some medicine later. However, ordinary medicine doesn't seem to work. I'll go to Sun City tomorrow and get some more effective medicine before coming back. Although it will cost more money, your mother's but must be treated properly. Otherwise it will really be dangerous. Ma Xiaofeng quickly nodded and said, Dr. Sun, I don't understand these things but you do. I'll follow your arrangements. Dr. Sun responded, Alright, I'll get the medicine for you later. You should be fine after applying the medicine properly. So, don't worry too much. Heaven will help the worthy. After Ma Xiaofeng heard this, she was even more grateful to Dr. Sunday. If it wasn't for Dr. Sun this time, his mother might have died. Ma Xiaofeng knelt in front of Dr. Sun and kowtowed several times to Dr. Sunday. Dr. Sun, thank you. Thank you for saving my mother's life. Xiaofeng will never be able to repay you in the future. I will do my best to do what I can. Dr. Sun looked at Ma Xiaofeng's pretty little face and smiled wretchedly. Xiaofeng, what are you talking about? I can't bear to let you do any hard work. Just like today, you just have to serve me a few more times. Ma Xiaofeng bit her lower lip. Although she was a little unwilling, she had to satisfy all of Dr. Sun's requests before her mother recovered. Chapter 1541. Dr. Sun looked at Ma Xiaofeng with great satisfaction. He felt that Ma Xiaofeng was very sensible. After handing the medicine to Ma Xiaofeng, he packed up his medicine box, got up and said, Okay, little Feng, your mother's injury is almost done. I have to go back quickly. Otherwise, my wife will definitely find out. Ma Xiaofeng quickly responded, Okay. Dr. Sun, you can go back. I won't keep you here. I'll send you off now. The two of them went out of Ma Xiaofeng's house one after another. When they were outside the house and there was no one around, Dr. Sun became more unscrupulous. He hugged Ma Xiaofeng and whispered in Ma Xiaofeng's ear, Little Feng, your mother's injury has been treated. She should be fine. Tomorrow I still want to do that with you. How about we meet at the usual place? Ma Xiaofeng responded shyly, Okay, Dr. Sunday. I'll listen to you. We can meet whenever and wherever you want. The smile on Dr. Sun's face became wider. The feeling of having a beauty in his arms was really good. Seeing that he had to leave now, Dr. Sun was a little reluctant. He kissed Ma Xiaofeng's face and said, Little Feng, I'll leave first. You don't have to send me too far. Just here is fine. Okay, take care. Haha, I'm fine. The smile on Dr. Sun's face was bright. However, when he turned around to leave, the smile on his face suddenly froze. Because when Dr. Sun turned around, he saw Old Lady Sunday. Moreover, Old Lady Sun was holding an axe and glaring at him angrily. Old Madam Sun saw everything that happened just now. Old Lady Sun was originally afraid that Dr. Sun would be seduced and confused by Widow Qian. She didn't expect that it wasn't Widow Qian this time, but Widow Qian's daughter. This old man was actually hugging Ma Xiaofeng, hugging and kissing her in broad daylight. He was too shameless. Not only did Ma Xiaofeng not refuse, but she also responded with a smile. Old Madam Sun cursed in her heart. This Qian Chuanxiu was a piece of trash and her daughter was the same. She had learned all her seductive skills. Of all the people she could seduce, she had to seduce her old man. Don't you find it disgusting that there's such a big age difference? When Ma Xiaofeng saw old Empress Dowager Sun again, she was also frightened. Naturally, she didn't want her relationship with Dr. Sun to be seen by others. If the villagers knew about this, she would be scolded and laughed at to death. Dr. Sun was scared out of his wits. He quickly said to old Madam Sun, Old woman, listen to me. Old Madam Sun snorted. Listen to you? What else do you have to say, old man? What do you want to explain to me? Could it be that what I saw wasn't real? Dr. Sun choked for a moment and felt very guilty. You damn old man, you're too shameless. You were actually seduced by a little girl. You're already so old, yet you're still lusting after her. Old Madam Sun scolded loudly. With such a shout, her voice spread far and wide. It wouldn't be long before many villagers came to watch. Dr. Sun's face suddenly turned red. I say, old woman, don't make a fuss. It won't be good if others see this. Chapter 1542. Dr. Sun felt even more ashamed after being scolded. This old woman really didn't intend to give him any face. With such a ruckus, he would be finished in the village in the future. How could he raise his head in public? You, hee. I didn't look after you for a quarter of an hour and you became like this. Old Lady Sun scolded again and then turned her gaze to Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng was startled by Old Lady Sun's terrifying gaze. She was somewhat afraid of Old Lady Sunday. The last time Old Lady Sun came to her house and made a ruckus, she was hurt quite badly. Her thin arms and legs were completely useless in front of Old Lady Sunday. Old Lady Sun rushed to Ma Xiaofeng angrily and slapped Ma Xiaofeng's face. You vixen, you only know how to learn from your mother. You actually learned how to seduce people. You could have seduced anyone, but you actually seduced my old man. Today I will let you see how powerful I am. Let's see if you still dare to do it in the future. Ma Xiaofeng was slapped in the face by Old Lady Sun and suddenly felt dizzy. The half of her face that was slapped was also burning with pain. However, in front of Old Lady Sun, she didn't dare to say a word because she knew that the more she said, the fiercer Old Lady Sun would hit her. She couldn't beat Old Lady Sun, so wouldn't she be looking for trouble in vain? She wasn't that stupid. However, after Old Lady Sun slapped Ma Xiaofeng, she was still a little unwilling. She grabbed Ma Xiaofeng's hair and pulled her back and forth. She started to lecture Ma Xiaofeng. You bitch, I will teach you how to be a person now. You dare to have ideas about anyone just like your rotten mother. Our village should kick people like you and your mother out. You really spoil the atmosphere of the village. Later on, all the men in our village will have to be on guard against you and your daughter, lest they be seduced by you too. Dr. Sun watched from the side as his wife bullied Ma Xiaofeng. And Ma Xiaofeng was powerless to resist Old Lady Sun's hands. Her very weak appearance made Dr. Sun's heart ache. After all, Ma Xiaofeng was his wife. Dr. Sun couldn't bear to see Ma Xiaofeng being wronged like this, so he couldn't help but step forward to defend Ma Xiaofeng. He said to Old Madam Sun, You woman, stop. Do you have to kill someone? Old Madam Sun stared at Dr. Sun and then said disdainfully, Kill someone? How could this be? This fetus was very tough. It wouldn't die in a few hits. Even if she killed him, it would be fine. Who asked him to be so cheap? He actually knew how to do such a despicable thing. He didn't learn good things at such a young age. Now this old woman will teach him how to be a person again. It can be considered as getting rid of evil for the people. As Old Madam Sun spoke, she grabbed Ma Xiaofeng's head and knocked it against a big tree at the side. Ma Xiaofeng's head was suddenly knocked open and blood flowed out. And Ma Xiaofeng was directly stunned by Old Madam Sun's beating. Zhao Yun'er watched from not far away and finally saw Old Madam Sun's way of beating people. Sure enough, she didn't show any mercy at all. Ma Xiaofeng was really pitiful after being beaten by Old Madam Sunday. And Old Madam Sun was still continuing. Zhao Yun'er had no sympathy for Ma Xiaofeng in her heart. Since she was a bitch, she had to bear the consequences of being a bitch. In the 21st century, it was very common for the first wife to beat the mistress. Chapter 1543. After all, he had a tender heart for the fairer sex. He couldn't bear to see Ma Xiaofeng being bullied so miserably by Old Lady Sunday. What would he do if Ma Xiaofeng was tormented to death? Okay, old woman, stop it. You've hit enough. You should stop now, right? Old Lady Sun glared at Dr. Sun and said, Because I say, old man, are you feeling distressed? Bitches have to be dealt with like this. Otherwise, how can you remember? Next time you'll have to harm others. Dr. Sun said to Old Lady Sun, You, how can you be so unreasonable? Little phone girl isn't such a person. She's not such a person? Then tell me, what kind of person is she? You're such an old man and she can even lay her hands on you. Who knows how many people she's secretly involved with? Dr. Sun looked at Old Lady Sun speechlessly. Isn't this old woman's words too much? She's simply unreasonable. On the contrary, Ma Xiaofeng remained silent and didn't explain. She just endured this grievance. Thinking of this, Dr. Sun felt even more distressed. After Dr. Sun sighed, he said to Old Lady Sun, Hey old woman, I'm begging you, okay? Don't bother with little phone girl. Quickly let her go. If you continue to torment her, she'll really lose her life. Let's go back and have a good talk. Don't make a fuss here and let everyone know. Old Lady Sun didn't agree. I don't want to. Today, I have to let people be the judge and let people know what kind of person this little vixen is. Dr. Sun saw that Old Lady Sun was simply stubborn. No matter what he said, it would be useless, so he could only follow Old Lady Sunday. If he wanted to blame someone, he could only blame himself. When he saw Old Lady Sun's aggressive appearance and holding the axe, he was scared out of his wits. Otherwise, he would definitely fight with Old Lady Sun and save Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng was slapped a few more times by Old Madam Sunday. Her whole body seemed to be exhausted. She felt dizzy and was about to fall down. Because of the big noise made by Old Lady Sun, many people in the village came in the direction of Ma Xiaofeng's house to see what had happened. As soon as she came to the shop, she saw Old Lady Sun beating Ma Xiaofeng, so she hurriedly asked, Auntie Sun, why did you beat Xiaofeng so badly? That's right. Little phone girl, how did I offend you? Look at how ruthless you are. Sigh, Xiao phone girl's face is swollen from the beating, and the corner of her mouth is still bleeding. How pitiful. Tisk, tsk. You're really too ruthless. Aren't you afraid of losing your life? Someone noticed that Dr. Sun was carrying a medical box and thought that Dr. Sun was trying to treat Qian Chuanxiu's injuries. Then old Madam Sun found out. So, old Madam Sun came early and gave Ma Xiaofeng a good beating. If this was really the case, then it was a bit unreasonable. Auntie Sun, if Dr. Sun is trying to treat Widow Qian's injuries, then forget it. That Widow Qian seems to be on the verge of death from her injuries. Dr. Sun is kind-hearted, so he came to take a look at her and save her life. Don't fuss over this matter and don't hit little phone. No matter what, it has nothing to do with little phone. That's right, Auntie Sunday. Let little phone girl go now. If there's anything we can talk about it, there's no need to make such a fuss. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.